Are you a fan of Alien, The Thing, or True Detective Night Country? Want a chilling story to listen to on those cold winter nights? Then you need to tune into The White Vault, a fully voiced horror fiction podcast from the folks at Fool and Scholar Productions. The award-winning found-footage show centers around an international rescue and repair team sent to discover the source of a mysterious signal at a remote Arctic research station. The weather takes a turn for the worse, the team becomes trapped, and you guessed it, spookies ensue. Check out The White Vault, available for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe now and discover the unimaginable horrors that await beneath the ice.
Firelink podcast, episode number 19 for Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. My name is Marty Sleva. As always, I am joined by Casey Wosu and Eric Vicart, and filling in for Nick today, Frost. Welcome to the show.
I get to be Nick today. Talk about Halo.
Just talking about Halo. We have an excellent show for you today. Quick apology to Eric that I just rolled through that because I've said that before. When I'm doing an intro, you can't stop this train. This train keeps going. This train keeps going, and they're just going to pick it up halfway through. We have a great show for you today. News-wise, we're going to talk a little bit about the Embracer news. Everyone's favorite company, the Embracer Group, is now 3 separate companies, and this and one of them is Middle-earth and Friends, which we can talk a little bit about. It feels like Voldemort like carving out separate pieces of his heart to be like, do you like this one? Is this one fine? Can this be a Horcrux for you? We'll also talk about Metaphor ReFantazio. That is the upcoming game by the Persona team, and I'm just really excited for it because they shut off 25 minutes of it, and let me tell you, this one doesn't have dating. So think about that. Maybe they've grown up. I don't know why I said grown up. Like when you grow up, you don't get to go on dates. And then our main topic is going to be sort of in honor of Nintendo Switch Online adding Iggy's Wrecking Balls to its N64 library. Just chatting about games from growing up for each of us that we remember playing for one reason or of another that it just seems like no one else ever played. They are no longer in the cultural conversation. These are just games that we like. I don't know. They meant a lot to us as a kid for some reason. And then all of a sudden, when you bring them up in a communal situation, everyone thinks you're a little bit crazy. And whether that still exists in games or has the internet ruined that? How are you guys doing?
All right. Doing pretty good. Excited. Ready to get down on some of this Embracer topic. These goofy games. I'm hoping, it was my desire, someone in chat goes, I played that. My dad had that game, right? Because I'm like, I don't think these existed. Or if they do, I was the only one who played them.
Someone in chat has always played that.
I want solidarity. That's what I want out of this episode.
I was excited by it. So we included, this is the thumbnail for this week, which we see this little man down here in the corner. That is Iggy, the titular Iggy of Iggy's Wrecking Balls. And I liked that in the art, a bunch of people were like, I remember that game, because the N64 was this weird thing where it would be like growing up in a small town where you kind of knew everybody. It had like 104 games. And so like chances are you like, I think I've played most N64 games at one point. Like I think there was like a solid 2-year span where I rented one every weekend. And so I just think at this point, like any N64 game, I'm like, yeah, I probably played that. Do I remember it? Probably not. But yeah, I probably played it.
I just have like huge blind spots for a lot of the consoles that I owned because I was very young and I could only really get games via like my parents and aunts and uncles and stuff.
Ooh, but sometimes they're the best ones at getting you a game where it's like, oh, no one's ever heard of this game. I don't know where you got this from. You got this from like a church basement. I don't know why they were handing out PS2 discs, but you grabbed one.
Yeah, like they don't know what they're getting.
No, there should be more. Church should do a thing like Burger King, where Burger King did that thing where they had like those 360 games.
Oh, like where they made games. Like
yeah, churches should do like a couple of games. Yeah,
I think they're ahead of you on that front. I think churches have 100% made video games.
Yeah, but what? I mean, that's not wrong. But what if like each religion had, it was like Pokemon, but each like Protestant, Lutheran, Presbyterian all had like different animals in their games.
Right, animals.
So it'd be like, oh, I need to hang out with my Jewish friend in order to get that cool dog that I don't have in my version of the game. Think about it.
Yeah, sure. Just what's up, shalom, brother. It's like, all right, here I go.
Do you have a link cable? Did you guys ever link cable in Pokemon?
No, that's how you get an HBD. I think I was during my time. I wasn't cognizant of the practice.
Yeah, I mean, during your time, that might have been already Wi-Fi, Bluetoothing. Like if you had a DS, you could share it using the airwaves.
Yeah, I had. I don't even know I don't know what you call this thing. It was a thing that connected the Game Boys to each other. This was Game Boy Advance time period.
Yeah,
it was a cable that connected them to each other, but also connected them to the GameCube.
GameCube, yeah. And that was
played Four Swords Adventure.
4 games. Yeah, that was one of them. It was really good.
No, it was good. That was I really enjoyed the time, but I only got to do that like once or twice with my brothers.
There's got to be a way with emulators that we could play that game. We could do a 4-player, 4 swords stream online.
That seems perfectly suited to Nintendo's online thing. Like just put that on the service, but
because the team was busy working on Iggy's Wrecking Balls.
Yeah, there you go. So
what is this game I'm looking at? Like,
what Iggy's Wrecking Balls? It is a part racing game, part platformer, where you play as an orb and you have the ability to shoot out a little grappling hook that's like your like a vestigial tail or like an arm. And so it is a racing game where you're also having to be like, ooh, when do I go up or down in this course? While making laps. Yeah, and everyone's like a weird little ball. I feel like the 90s were big on little, like balls that looked mean, like little bouncy. But you remember those little guys? There was like mean monster bouncy balls. Yeah. It'd be like a bouncy ball, but it just looked like it was gonna fuck your shit up if you went down the wrong street.
Is it like a dinosaur? It looks like a germ you'd find in Osmosis Jones.
You're I believe Iggy, the main character, is a bit of like a reptile, like a dinosaur. Like an iguana. Ooh, this was made by Iguana, I believe. The developer was Iguana, so he might be a titular iguana. Everyone's saying mean balls. Mad balls? Mean balls?
Mad balls. All around me are familiar.
Donnie Darko. What a movie. We're not talking about Donnie Darko, though, because we're talking about the video game news. Do you guys want to talk about Embracer?
Yeah. I heard about this news, but I did not read anything, get to the nitty gritty. So I would love you guys to fill me in on what the hell they're thinking.
I mean, I don't think either of us can fill you out on exactly what they're thinking. I mean, Frost honestly has pretty much stated it out directly in several cold takes of what these people are thinking. But the Embracer Group, the Swedish venture capital firm or whatever the hell they are, which has been gobbling up developers and IPs. They throughout the years they purchased the rights to the Crystal Dynamics, the rights to Tomb Raider, the rights to The Lord of the Rings, Gearbox, all these different things. And then when big investments went south, they lost a shit ton of money. They had to shutter studios, let go of people, cancel projects. They've announced that, they are restructuring and are now 3 separate companies. And that one is called Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends.
And guess what they make?
But the craziest thing is that they make Lord of the Rings. But then they are, quote, a creative powerhouse in AAA development and publishing that will retain ownership of Dead Island, Killing Floor, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Tomb Raider, and The Lord of the Rings. So Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends, the developers of Dead Island and Killing Floor.
So those are the friends.
Because that's the short name. Really, it stands for Middle-earth Enterprise and Never Thought I'd Die Fighting Side by Side with an Elf. What about Side by Side with a Friend? That's the full name.
That's that was really good. I really like that. Do you think this is what Tolkien fought on the battlefields of World War I for?
Yeah, you guys forget that man served.
He was in the trenches.
Oh,
was
no.
in the trenches. It's classical stuff, is what it is. As someone who's actually been seen this side of the business maneuvers, the first one is don't make shitty games where you eat. So you're gonna have the head, and then you have these tiny little companies where if one of them goes sour, and you get sued or it goes bankrupt or whatever, it doesn't affect the head. So it is a Horcrux in that sort of scenario. But also now these branches lets you take sort of like competing investments, so to speak. Let's say Pepsi wants to be in my game, but so does Coca-Cola, and there's no way I can have both of them.
Sure,
But I
sure.
can be like, okay, Coca-Cola for that game and Pepsi for that game. So it's a way to stick your finger in more pots, so to speak.
It's like Steven
a strange
Urkel
thing.
and Stefan Urkel when he had
Is it?
his alter ego. Yes.
Kind of, I think, yeah. But yeah, no, it's just
I mean, they couldn't
nice way
both
to-
exist at once, though. So I feel like this is fundamentally.
Maybe if you
different.
go on
He did clone himself late in the in the series,
So who's to say?
and then one of them
it's
did.
like all right, it's like Eddie Murphy and the Gumps, you know.
Okay,
The-
like it was a bunch of
the
different characters,
Gumps?
but we were like, I don't think the
That-
Gumps was the name of the movie. That was
The
Forrest
Clumps.
Gump.
Was it the
Clumps.
Clumps? Yeah, yeah.
The
It's all
Clumps,
Eddie
okay.
Murphy. One of them's
Tom
Marty.
Hanks is in the Gumps.
Oh, man.
But-
Okay, so I understand what you're saying in that they want to be less of an easy target in terms
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
the economic fighting them, right? The like the economy like beating them down, right? They want to be a smaller target.
Well, no,
yeah.
for themselves too. Like,
But-
because you can
And
make
to
take a bunch of money in, it goes sour, and then it's like, hey, you have to repay the investors. Like, no, I don't. I can just shut down the studio.
that is, but so sorry. Can he go on? The Middle Earth and Enterprises and Friends is ostensibly Lord of the Rings and AAA games. The
So that's all AAA.
ostensibly. The Asmodee group, which is their second group, is focusing on tabletop stuff because apparently they have the rights to stuff like Ticket to Ride and Catan. Like they own Settlers of Catan,
All right.
like a really big board game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've heard of it.
they also Asmodee licenses like a bunch of board games from like Lord of the Rings board games and Star Wars board games, like Game of Thrones board games. Like they license a bunch of big board games. And then Coffee Stain and Friends, which is they're calling their quote diverse gaming entity, and that's going to be like indie games, which
Or just
include
everything else that falls out. of
kinda,
the
but it also
AAA
includes
category.
major things like Deep Rock Galactic, like stuff that is like, oh, these are like indie games, but these are like Deep Rock
Yeah,
is like
that's got a
one of the
big-
most popular indie games.
Yeah.
And stuff like Valheim and everything. So yes, they're splitting
Okay.
everything into those three separate.
So these companies are fully like separate from each other. Like, do they share funds? Like, they don't share any
Legally,
hierarchy?
they're
There's no-
separate from each other, but they do this loophole where it's like, let's say you have one really successful branch and the other two on paper are always failing.
Mhm.
You can then owe yourself money and get write-offs and stuff like that from it. So they're separate as far as like just saying that it's separate, but no, it is essentially still its own thing. You've just diverged your own money. It's a really weird loophole. It's hard to explain. I used to do it when I was back in logistics. We'd had a normal warehouse. We did plastic pelletizing, but we also had this shop that sucked, like horrible. The amount of money that it was leaking was awful, but we were using it to repair our own trucks, and because it always owed us money, we got more write-offs and stuff like that. It was just us, but the government doesn't count it, so it's weird.
It's like it's putting it's transferring money from your back pocket to like your breast pocket of your jacket. I'm like, well, it's in a different article of clothing, but it's like, well,
I
you
guess
just took that $5 and took it from your butt to your tit.
Yeah, I still don't fully understand this, but I think that's intentional. Like, I think.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to get it.
Yeah, like
That
this.
makes no sense.
This sort of tomfoolery is made to be obscure and like hard to parse for those purposes, right? But like, okay, so they've gone through the process of creating the Horcruxes to save the heart, right? Is like, does this help? Like, will this, because Embracer has been on a downturn because of the fact that they wanted to just be this giant megacorp that ate everything to sell off, and that didn't work.
Like,
Like, is
turns out
this a
literally every
strategy?
business that does that ends up failing.
Right.
No.
Like they rise to a certain point and then they fail.
Were you
So like,
asking?
is breaking up into three smaller things that actually have more of a strategy? Because Embracer had no strategy. They were just a garbage dump of whatever was out there in the sea. This actually sounds like there's a little bit of thought. All right, we'll put these things that are sort of like each other here, these things that are sort of like each other there. So is this a sign that these companies may actually be on a better trajectory at the very least?
So the CEO says that the move allows, quote, each entity to better focus on the respective core strategies and offer more differentiated and distinct equity stories to exist and for existing and new shareholders. This is him speaking to shareholders.
Yeah,
To
when
be
you
like,
when you
Yeah,
say
'cause
are
that
things going to
sentence-
get better, do you mean like for gamers or for investors?
Well,
It's going to get better for
I specifically
investors.
mean for the company, I guess. This is a business move.
mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they don't want to shut these companies down. They want these companies to go back to being profitable. So like, is this a thing that makes sense? Like these businesses are not independent of the large brain trust. Can they now kind of focus in on what they want to do, what their libraries contain, and actually start to like function as like a game studio? Like that's what I'm curious about. Like, does this make sense in terms of them being three separate companies?
For gamers, no. For money, yeah. Yeah.
For like short-term money, I think.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I can't see any of this working.
Kind of at the point where you either don't want it to work because then you'll owe back money to investors, or you want it to really, really go off. That's why I would not be surprised to see them like launch all these new games out of these different studios and then very quickly just be like, oh, well, we got to put it down. Like it just didn't do as well as we intended. A lot of versing from this also comes from like the way Hi-Rez used to function. They used to just be one thing, and then they split up into 4 different studios. That makes Rogue Company and Paladins and Smite and Realm Royale and all that good stuff. So, if anything, it's almost a good-ish sign in the sense that it doesn't sound like their plan anymore is infinite growth so much as sustained growth. It's may not be good for gaming long term, but they might stop them from just like, all right, let me eat some more of these and like, oh, these are trash. You know, it sounds like they're going for a more like, okay, we can't grow by 200% anymore, 300% anymore. What we can do is grow by like 10% every 2 years. You know, it sounds like more.
That does sound good. That sounds like something a company should attempt to do. Like, I mean, if you're a company, you're a company, and companies got to grow, right? We get that. Like, that's how a business functions. But like, just the rate that they're chasing, it puts everything on the back foot. If you're trying to just be a business that functions, I think that's okay.
No, I mean it's okay. Like to a business like ours, where there's a dozen to 20 of us, growth of 10% sounds amazing.
Yeah,
when there's
you would want that. Yeah,
thousands to tens of thousands, and the handful of people at the top are like, ooh, but what if we can grow by this much so that our payouts at the end of a year are this much? That's when everything gets fucked.
Yeah,
and they do that during the pandemic when money's cheap and everyone's investing in these kind of things because people are home 24 hours a day, and then they do that investment 2 years later, the pandemic's over and everyone's out. And
see, this is where it's weird and balances itself out, is because you can make money on shorting or buying low and selling high type of things. Like that's where it gets a little sloppy because they are publicly traded, like almost to the point where I'm like, about to drop 100 on these just to see what I can get out of them.
I want to see what's going on with that Embracer.
Yeah, it's really difficult to know what their next move is, but I don't think it's going to be anything as egregious as I'm going to just stuff as many video game companies in my mouth and hope something.
I have to imagine that phase of their existence is done, of like curbing up as many IP and companies as possible. Whether they treat these current companies right remains to be seen. We've seen a handful of their studios, Gearbox, ended up gaining their independence, and then their independence moving to 2K, or 2K and Take-Two. So it's interesting to see specific studios and sort of wriggle out from under this. We saw this with IDOS, and speaking of like Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix Montreal, IDOS, like organizing their own, or I guess IO Interactive and not IDOS actually. IO Interactive with the Hitman developers kind of wriggling their way out and gaining their independence and doing their own thing. And now, like, Hitman 3 was a massive success, and then they have the contract to do the James Bond game. Remember the James Bond game that's happening?
Yeah, I want to see something from that actually.
Remember Perfect Dark? What are we getting first, that or Perfect Dark?
Perfect Dark 3.
We're getting the James Bond thing before we get Perfect Dark. I'm sure.
Because that's not real.
My hopes are just so dashed.
Before we continue, we have a bunch of super chats. You want to go over super chats?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fox $5 dono. Thank you so much, Fox D. Won't be able to catch this live because I'm commuting, but here's a $5 for the great topic idea. Hello to future me, catching up on the VOD. Hello, Fox D. I hope you had a nice commute.
Thank you. And also, hope you had a nice commute.
Yeah. What if you didn't? What if they didn't? What if there was like a ghost on the train?
Jesus,
some sort of a ghost train? Well, I'm just saying, it's possible. You've ever been on a ghost train? You ever see a ghost? Frost, you absolutely seen a ghost.
Definitely ghosts, yes.
Yeah.
I'm Latino, but not on trains.
Okay, not on trains. That's fine. We'll get to your ghost later on. Definitely ghosts. I'm Latino. John Blee, been a member for 2 months. Thank you so much, John Blee. I remember playing a racing game on the NES that you could play with or is with 3D glasses. It was amazing. To this day, I have no idea if it existed or what it was called. I don't remember a 3D glasses game on the NES.
Is that it? I don't know. Eric's got some B-roll here.
I don't know. Do you have your 3D glasses with you?
Okay, it looks very 2D to me.
Yeah, this looks pretty 2D to me.
Well, that's because you're not wearing your fucking 3D glasses.
Oh, you're right. You have
Dorks.
3D glasses. You bought them? Oh, those are Eclipse glasses. Never mind.
Those were Eclipse glasses. They were so dark. They are useless for anything but the Eclipse, let me say. Jewel Rao with a €2 dono. Thank you so much, Jewel. SNK Heroines fan service fighting game without crouching. Fighting game without crouching.
That's bold.
Yeah, I feel like SNK Heroines might have been like a 3DO handheld, like a handheld, like a pocket fighting game. And I feel like those would be like, all right, we gotta limit the amount of movements and things here. So maybe you
like one of those like liquid crystalline display games, like a Tiger Electronics joint.
no, not that cheap. I think SNK might have been like there might have been like a handheld 3DO system, like a shitty Game Gear.
Shitty Game Gear.
Shittier.
Game Gear is pretty shitty.
But I mean, like, it wasn't like a disposable one game thing. It was a handheld console that you could put games in, as opposed to those Tiger Electronics.
Right now.
This wasn't what I was thinking of at all. No, what I was thinking of had like 3 bits. This is way more bits than I was
this
thinking.
This is a whole.
Aren't any of these ladies crouching? That's bold. Bro.
Aren't any of these ladies crouching?
I can't tell.
What would a fighting game be like if you couldn't? Can you crouch and smash?
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so. You can wave dash. You can do a lot of things. Fighting, because did they have no knees? Is that what it is? The characters didn't have knees. It's like
that was before knees were invented in games.
Yeah.
People are asking, was I thinking of Gal Fighter? I was absolutely thinking of Gal Fighters. I was absolutely thinking of Gal Fighters, which seems like a game where your characters can't crouch and is also chunky and 8-bit. So we're going to say I'm correct for this one. Thank you so much, Jewel Rouser. Arthur, been a member in the tip jar for 3 months and then donated. Thank you so much. I got the day off. You can catch a little of the stream, but live. Love all the shows and stuff you do. Cheers. And that's my tip jar message. That was the end of the tip jar message. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
That was a nice little end. And then Jewel Rao with another €2. Thank you so much. Ghostmaster for PC. Love the game so much. What do you think Ghostmaster was about? Were you haunted by ghosts, or were you like in charge of the ghosts?
Oh God, I remember this.
No, this looks like a fake ass Slimer. Who is this?
I thought this was Casper.
This is Slimer. This is like Mountain Dew. Casper got like loaded with Mountain Dew and became a little gooner in the basement. Look at him. Look at his face.
Ooh, I don't like that. That's in your vernacular.
What, gooner?
Yeah, I don't like that's in anyone's vernacular. Finding out that Anne Hathaway is a gooner, like I didn't need that today.
What a morning!
Catwoman?
How, Casey, is that in Rat Beef?
This is
Anne Hathaway straight gooning. Thank you so much, Jewel. Sean Harriman with a $10 dono. Thank you so much, Sean. This goes towards Marty and Darren's expenses for a trip to Vegas to check out the Sphere. Oh my God, could you imagine? But if it's U2, I mean, Darren shouldn't have to pay to go see U2. That should be like a pilgrimage to every Irishman. Like the government should.
I don't know how Bono feels about his Irishness.
I think he's okay.
But Sean Hammerman says, I just got back from the Darren Aronofsky's Postcards from Earth. It is literally the definition of awe-inspiring. Darren Aronofsky, the director of stuff like Requiem for a Dream, The Fountain, and most recently The Whale. starring Brendan Fraser, where he was the large man.
Mhm.
He directed, I believe, a nature doc of some sorts just for the orb, the dome, the orb, the
The
sphere.
orb. Pondering my orb.
What's that place called in Vegas? The sphere, the
Sphere.
orb,
I think it's
the
Sphere.
dome, the Iggy's Wrecking Ball. What if the sphere is actually you just enter Iggy's Wrecking Ball's mouth? Oh my god, could you imagine Iggy's Wrecking Ball though going on in the sphere? That'd be an experience.
So
Oh.
everyone will just throw up.
For sure.
I mean, that's some
It'll be a total mess in there.
It would be an absolute mess. Sir Arthur, thank you so much for the dono. Who remembers the Lomax for PS1? Anyone?
The Lomax.
Is a Lomax like a little? Isn't a Lomax like a Seuss? A little Seuss dude? No, Adventures of Lomax.
If that's what's in this image that Eric pulled up, that does look like a Seuss dude.
No, I'm thinking of the Lorax. That's the man who speaks.
Oh, that is the Lorax.
trees.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
the Lorax.
I can't believe that man was allowed to speak for all of the trees.
I mean, look, the trees chose their champion. Deal with
Hey,
it.
it was a Lorax? Was that dude? This game looks like bad Rayman. That's what Lomax looks like.
Oh, sorry, bad Rayman.
We should do a new show
or
where
like
people
good
just bring a
Lemmings.
game to us and be like, "What do you guys think of this?" And then we just look at it. We're like, "This is well, I don't know what's going on here. This doesn't look like a PS1 game." Well, I guess I don't know. It just feels like PS1. So few people were making. It's a spinoff of Lemmings.
It is. Oh, I just called it.
Oh,
I
did
said
you?
it looks like a good Lemmings game.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, it's a spinoff of Lemmings. Wait a minute. Developed by Psygnosis. This isn't the Psygnosis I'm thinking of, is it? Psygnosis ended up getting bought and closed, I believe, by Sony, by PlayStation. But they created the Wipeout games. Remember Wipeout?
Oh, no, Wipeout was good.
I remember Wipeout, yeah.
Yeah. Colony Wars, Wipeout. They were kind of like they were Sony's like first party vehicular studio.
Yeah, it was the other F-Zero.
Yeah, it was F-Zero, but not as good.
Yeah, it was not as good. No.
Yeah. There was a game. Speaking of games that I don't know if anyone else played. I remember when I was like 10, we got like a Windows 95 PC, and it came with a racing game called, I think, Pod. Nothing to do with the band Pod.
Uh-huh.
But it was like a real. It was like F-Zero, like futuristic racing, but like real, like crusty and crunchy, like a biopunk universe.
Okay.
And I didn't like it. Let me tell you, I didn't like racing that place. It wasn't like Mad Max where it's all sunny outside. It was like fucking racing in a sewer. And I don't want to race in a sewer. I like a sewer level. I don't want like an entire sewer game.
Oh, Chad is saying Planet of Death. They know what you're talking about. POD.
Look at that.
Oh.
I thought we were talking about. Remember that band POD?
Wasn't it like
Youth of the Nation?
Yes, Youth of the Nation.
so? POD is a different group than Puddle of Mud.
That's
Yeah, because it's an
POM.
M, not a D.
I mean, sure, but
it ends with a D, which is pretty much the same logic that Frost had with his Middle Earth joke.
Sure. Yeah.
So it is similar. Yeah, this was what it was like. I just didn't like this world. Look at this world. I'm sorry to anyone
that
listening
Red
to this.
Sky. Yeah,
This
you can't
world-
stay in that for too long.
No, it seems like a.
Puddle of
Sounds
Mud.
kinda
That's
crazy.
like redneck emo.
You know what? Rednecks have emotions as well.
They do.
Redneck emo. I really like Redneck emo. Steamtastic Vagabond with a $13.99 Canadian dono. Thank you so much, Steamtastic Vagabond. Has anyone ever played Scalar on the GameCube? You play as a kid turned into a lizard who has to gather alien eggs. The game has some of the most distinct alien environments I remember. I do not remember Scalar on the GameCube.
Mm-mm.
Also, I'm going to be honest, we're just in our main topic now. I'll bring
Yeah,
up
we kind of
Metaphor Refantasio later. At this point, we got to talk about these games. Scalar on the GameCube. Look at this. You guys got to Google this, man, because this dragon on the cover of Scalar, he looks like a dude who has a fucking secret that he's keeping from you. He looks like someone who did something real bad. And you're like, what did you do in my bedroom? And he's like, I'll never tell. And then Scalar runs out. So I don't trust this man
what
whatsoever.
the hell?
Is he grinding?
It's like Spyro Gax out here.
Yeah, it's
But
supposed.
also Sonic, because he's blue. He has like
There you go.
the
He's got
spikes
Goku
going
hair, though.
backwards.
He's got
Yeah,
Goku
I mean
hair.
so does Sonic.
Oh, Sonic does have Goku hair. That's true.
What in the hell? Even turns into like a Sonic ball. What?
Yeah, look at him.
Okay, so this is just Dragon Sonic.
Sonic. You know what?
This
Go.
is just
got Sega at home.
behavior. Behavior interactive, not the Dead by Daylight behavior interactive. What? The best thing about these games is 1 out of every 3 you'll find out was developed by a team that is totally just making games today. So Behavior
Yeah.
Interactive, the Dead by Daylight folks, and most recently Silent Hill Ascension, making this. They made this game. Oh, he's not a little ball anymore. Look, he's just running around. Oh no, he's a ball now. Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to you, Scalar. That was a game that your church gave you in your basement. That was like, thank you for coming to mass. Here's a copy of Scalar.
You're a weird church, brother.
That's
Mine
when you
had
get kicked
Smash.
out,
Your church had
Your church had Smash?
My church had Smash.
Which Smash?
What?
The GameCube one, I want to say.
Okay, Melee.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, my church and video games just they did not exist in the same.
I mean, you go to the Church of Smash every Sunday.
Yeah, now, yeah. Started my own church with Smash and hookers.
Smash and hookers. Thank you, Pope Sakurai. Paul, been a member and ad free for a month. Thank you so much, Paul. I played that anime Do Your Taxes game Marty brought up last year. It's pretty fun, though. I had to catch myself from giving the IRS my actual social security number. No, don't.
That's a Seinfeld thing. You gave the waifu tax game your social. I was immersed, Jerry. Immersed.
I was immersed.
Why did you give the waifu weeb tax game your social?
We need to do that. That's a good stream for next tax year.
No,
that game.
We'll do Second Wind. We'll do our taxes only in the waifu. We'll live stream us doing our taxes in the waifu tax simulator.
Little tax evasion ASMR.
What could go wrong?
First off, I don't like the fact that I think you're the third person who's been like, hey, remember that game you brought up? And it feels like I gave an endorsement to that thing. And I just don't want anyone to like lose their livelihoods because of me. So I just want to go on record as saying, give your social security number to anyone who asks, because there's no harm in it.
As long as they're really cute.
As long as they're really cute or the email is written in like a fun, kind of a fun, floaty way. So if you get a fun email, just respond to it. Blaze Blue with 10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. I can't believe I actually owned the game in the thumbnail. Iggy's Wreckin' Balls for N64. Thanks, Grandma. See, grandmas love buying games that just no one will ever remember.
They'll be on it.
Yep.
Or off it, whichever one it is.
But these are the games that like 20 years from now, they're probably going for like fucking $1,000 on eBay if you have like a sealed copy. So grannies know. But on the bright side, she also accidentally got me Conker's Bad Fur Day, the best game ever. Could you imagine Grandma watching Conker's Bad Fur Day? There was a whole villain named the Great Mighty Pooh, and he sang a song. Grandma would not
what
like
did the
that.
cover of that look like that it could fool like grandmas and such?
It
Was it pretty tame?
Yeah, it was like
just
black.
squirrel.
The logo, there was a squirrel. It wasn't like it didn't.
Wasn't
have,
he
like
like
the big,
frowning
big
on it
titty
too?
Plant. Yeah, but grandma's no frowns. They've
I mean,
seen
it is called
things.
Bad Fur Day, right? Like the thing is, the title is actually very cutesy. It does
Sure.
not suggest that this is mature theme.
You could have had like a Beethoven's Bad Fur Day. That could have been a Beethoven spinoff.
Yeah,
So
I
grandmas
mean,
don't-
that, like, during this time, you got, Bugs Bunny was heyday, and we saw him in drag all the time. This is tame.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean,
that-
the Great
that's
Mighty
true.
Pooh is literally a big shit.
Sure.
Just literally a big shit. Maybe she originally thought, because Conker was originally revealed as a colorful mascot platformer, much like
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie. I believe it's like Conker in the nine realms or something. And so
They
I
had
can
a
imagine
couple of games.
Yeah, and then finally they were like, "Oh, we need to pivot." And
He
then
broke bad.
He broke bad. Yeah. Yeah, and then that was an interesting. That was one of the first games to do a Matrix parody. I remember there was a whole Matrix level where you did a
Yeah,
gunfight,
people
like,
loved
in the
that
lobby.
Matrix parody in that game.
Because it was early. It was before everyone else did it. So that was good on them. But yeah, Jewel, wait till Grandma sees the titty flower. I don't know what Grandma will think. Depends on what kind of a grandma you have. I'm not going to judge your
Yeah,
grandma.
maybe you had a cool grandma.
Love titty flowers.
Just
Maddie
loved flowers and titties.
loved them. Maddie D with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Maddie. Moonsweeper for the Atari 2600. Fun game. No one's heard of it. I do not. My memory does not go back to the Atari 2600. I know Minesweeper
exists in my brain, but maybe it's just Minesweeper.
You're thinking of Minesweeper.
Maybe
What
I'm
is
thinking of
this thing?
Minesweeper.
What the hell? What?
Oh, look
What?
at you moonsweeping.
Yeah, look at
This is
thing.
just, what's that game? XO1? This is just XO1.
This is Galaga, but no, this is just Galaga.
But no, there's like a horizon. You're continuing to move towards the horizon.
XO1 on Flatland.
2.5D.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maddie D. Blue Lagoon with a $5 dono played an insane amount of Disciples 2 Dark Prophecy as a kid and an adult. A 10 out of 10 hidden gem. This sounds like a PC game. Oh my god, it is a PC game. Look at this HUD. Look at this HUD. This is absolutely a PC game. A turn-based strategy game from 2002 by Strategy First. I'm gonna be honest, I do not think that's a company that still exists. Oh, they have so many games. I might be. Oh, they're making those Europa Universalis games. Oh no, they're still absolutely a company.
Ooh, got him.
Fucking.
Thought, Marty.
You thought I don't know anything about strategy games. They have so many games.
Yeah, we're locking.
Like their strategy, keep making games.
That's the greatest strategy game of them all. Absolute greatest strategy game of them all. Thank you so much, Blue Lagoon. Fungus Finder. Not a single person has played Poi Poi for the PS1. What do you think is going on with Poi Poi?
I don't know what that is.
What in the hell is that?
Do you guys trust a game that's the same word twice? We do Doki Doki. We've done a Doki Doki Literature Club before.
Don't trust it though.
You don't trust the Literature Club?
You know?
Yeah, I don't think you should. That game.
To be honest,
does
I
things to
like
your
Poi
system.
Poi. IGN's review of the game said it was, quote, so addictive that once you start playing, you'll never put your controller down. Sounds cursed.
Like it's people just throwing things. Like what?
Is it
They're
like
just
Frisbee golf?
throwing things.
What is going
No, like
on
there's
here?
just stuff in the arena, and people are just throwing them around.
This is just a
That is
fucking
the game.
gang beast. It's just gang beast.
It's just gang beast.
Gang beast when Clinton was president. No, you're right, Fungus Finder. Poi Poi does not seem real. I think you might have made that up. Eric. Welcome, Eric. It's Eric of producing.
Oh, with his fifth message.
Thank you so much. I already shared this one, but since every time the reaction was, quote, never heard about it, sharing it again. Nuts and Milk for the NES, which had a level editor. Could you?
I've seen this little guy.
This looks like, this just looks like Donkey Kong, but you like stole it and you made your own game with it.
You stole it. Welcome.
You stole it.
Welcome to Conky Dong. Wait.
Why is it called Nuts and Milk though?
Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Milk. Well, Nuts and Milk. What is or nuts? What's the Oh no, soup to nuts is the thing.
Yeah, soup to nuts is a phrase.
Not nuts to milk. A level editor for the NES. That would have been huge. A level editor in the late 80s, early 90s.
That was impressive.
And then Pain Causing Samurai with $5 Canadian. Thank you so much. I am looking forward to the second win guest appearance on the OS podcast. P.S. Which real ones out there played Marshmallow Duel, the OG Smash Brothers game, the OS podcast. Is that the thing Jim Mate said he was going to be on?
Overly Sarcastic Productions. Yes.
Look at that.
They do fun videos talking about literature tropes, history stuff.
Oh yeah,
Perfect mythology.
Yeah.
It's great.
Look at that. There you go.
What is Marshmallow Duel?
Marshmallow Duel, the OG Smash Bros. Game. Casey, how do you not know about this? I don't know about it.
Not the Smash Killer, the Smash Birther. Oh, woo.
Yeah, is this this would be like your Old Testament.
I'm looking at footage now.
This looks like fucking. This also looks like Donkey Kong.
This looks like.
Are all games just Donkey Kong at a certain point?
Every game
find each other,
Kong,
or
right?
they just like race to get stuff.
Yeah, maybe it's like almost. It almost looks like a 2D fighting game like that. In the same way that, like, did you ever play Towerfall? That was one of those original Ouya games.
Never actually got around to Towerfall.
It was like Ouya's. It was Ouya's killer app for a while. It was a 4-player party game. It was like a 2D indie Smash kind of thing, but it was like really fast paced rounds. So almost like it was kind of like Nidhogg Smash, 4-player Nidhogg Smash.
Right. Okay. So yeah, they kind of like bump it. This is super primitive Smash. He's absolutely right. He or she is absolutely right from what I'm seeing. Though, does Joust predate this? Joust is like 80s, 70s, right?
Joust probably. It would have been Joust would have been 80s. I don't know exactly when this came out, but maybe
Because Joust
feels 96. This can't be 96. This has to be early 96.
Joust feels like that's probably the first version of just digital
That
sumo.
had to be the first game ever with ostriches. You ride ostriches in that game. Who else thought to put that weird bird? That's such a weird bird. Also, that's got to be. It is the weirdest bird, right?
Well,
Point me one weirder bird.
The world rejected the dodo, so that might be a weirder bird.
This is true.
Also, there's that one bird with just the massive beak. Like its whole head is just like 95% beak.
That's a pelican, no?
No, it's not a pelican though. That does fit the pelican's.
Wait, you think about one of those like
man.
dinosaur birds?
Yeah, and like it just looks real mean every time it's in a picture.
No, you talking about a real bird or like an old dinosaur?
No, it's a real bird. No, it's a real bird.
Oh,
No, because there was just that picture of like a bird skeleton going through a museum.
I'm gonna type into Google right now. What's that bird with the mean ass face?
I'm doing bird skeleton dino image recent. I saw it in the last few days. I can't find the bird.
Yes.
Did you?
Shoebill stork.
A shoebill stork? Wouldn't trust that bird. I wouldn't trust that bird as far as I could throw it. How come everyone knows shoebill? How does everyone know these birds?
Yeah, Google knew exactly what I was talking about.
Birds just as a concept, as a genre, are freaky little things. Flamingos, their knees bend backwards. They can stand high salinity. Like, what are you doing?
I don't like these guys at all.
Foghorn, leghorn. Y'all seeing those?
Yeah, I've been seeing all the.
He's been like, he's been stepping into Neon Genesis Evangelion and telling Shinji not to crank one out over the hospital bed. Shout out to Foghorn Leghorn. Cool Kiddo with the $2 dono. Thank you so much. Anybody play Red Dog on the Dreamcast?
Is that not Clifford?
This is a regular size red dog. This isn't a big red dog. Okay. This is just like a normal red dog. No, it turns out Red Dog is it looks like a gritty post-apocalyptic tank-based game. So it's almost looks like if you're driving a warthog from Halo.
Oh yeah.
But through like shit Mars.
Mars.
Yeah.
That's just.
I was trying to.
What system is this?
Look at you.
It was Dreamcast.
Like a PC joint. Oh, Dreamcast.
PS1 PC Dreamcast seems like. Oh no, it was a Dreamcast exclusive. Oh my god. Lead designer. Oh no, this was so developed by Argonauts Game, who also was Argonauts Game was the if I'm not mistaken, the team that made Star Fox. So this was the British studio that made Star Fox for Nintendo. Lead designer Sefton Hill. You might know Sefton Hill because he was the director of Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
Ha!
Yeah,
Check that out.
Look at that. So you know why fucking Arkham Knight had a tank? Because Sefton was like, I gotta
bring it back.
To my red got you. He says.
It's time.
I gotta go back to my Red Dog. What a game. Cool Kiddo. Thank you so much. Bunny Lizard with a $20 down. Listen, we need a whole podcast of just people like, remember this thing? It doesn't even have to be games. You can just bring up anything.
Remember this.
You can bring up like a food. You remember this book? Just remember the 90s. Bunny Lizard with a $20 dono. Thank you so much. I just was watching a video on Rayman Origins that mentioned it being, quote, confusingly horny. Immediately cut to a clip that featured Marty saying, I want to have sex with Big the cat. What? Made my day either way. That was a clip of me. It was me saying that it was before I'd played the 3D Sonic games. But I said anyone who still likes Sonic in the year whenever I said that, 2015, 2016, 2014, is just horny and wants to fuck Big the cat. And then I tried to like smooth things over by saying, I understand because I also want to fuck Big the cat. And people were not happy.
It was a different time.
They were not thrilled. I believe Donkey used that in a video and people were upset. They were upset at me saying that. But I stand by my words. So there you go. And the Elder Zoomer with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Not sure how true it is, but out of everyone I met, no one has ever known or heard of a game series called Tenchu. I absolutely know Tenchu. That was like FromSoft ended up getting the reins to Tenchu. Yeah, Tenchu Stealth Assassin.
Huge. And that's how we ended up getting Sekiro.
For the longest time, I thought Tenchu was Ninja Gaiden or Genshin. What was it? It was
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden. No, Tenchu was much more of a, that was like in a post, I say post, it might have been around the same time as Metal Gear Solid 1, but that was kind of the other big stealth game that I think of on the PS1. But it was, you were like a ninja infiltrating.
You could go all over the rooftops. You play as a Rikimaru, and I forgot the other chick, but
yeah,
there he is.
It had it was on the demo disc with like a bunch of other like PS1 or 2 games, if I remember correctly.
That's also a place where those weird games that you're like, did anyone else ever play this? Was this real? Demo discs were like a treasure trove for those kinds of games of like, I never bought this thing, so I don't have deep memories of it, but like, is this shit real?
That actually just reminded me, have any of you guys ever played StarCraft Ghost? Because that game never came out.
No.
But it had a playable demo on like kiosk, right? Not even at E3, just out in the wild. I used to work at a Kmart that had a StarCraft Ghost kiosk, and I played that demo all the time.
Incredible.
But the game just never came out.
I never a public game, but there was a few like at E3 I got to play Fable Legends. There was a 4-player Fable game that was going to come out during like the early Xbox One generation, and that got canceled. So I played that. It was actually one of those. There was like a dungeon master, dungeon master in a party, and then also the what was the Xbox character action, the first person Scalebound. I got to play Scalebound as well before it was canceled, and then I remember once, and there was an NBA Live game that made it all the way through. So NBA games usually come out October, and like a review copy showed up, and then halfway through the review process, they were like, "Actually, we're canceling the game, so you just can't."
I remember this.
What?
You can't review it, and it was like, "Well, we're not going to." And they were like, "You need to get rid of the disc." And I'm like, "Well, we're not going to do that." But it was just like an NBA Live game. There wasn't anything.
You still have it? What?
I don't think I have it anymore.
I mean, the game was like super buggy and busted, right? Like,
yeah, but that's never stopped anyone before. Like, and it wasn't it feels like one of those weird things about how like Warner Brothers, speaking of I guess Embracer earlier, how Warner Brothers is able to be like, oh, we're just gonna cancel this movie that's done, this Looney Tunes movie or this fucking Batgirl movie because it's a tax write-off. This felt like somehow this was a tax write-off because it was like at this point just release the thing. I don't know, get bad reviews, who cares?
I mean, they haven't. I think they ended up releasing another NBA Live game, not the next year, but the year after, which was still bad. And then I don't think they've released one since. Yeah.
And so they really like kind of, for a franchise that was like the biggest basketball franchise
that was the basketball franchise that I played. Like I was never a 2K guy. Like I used to play NBA Live, and then it fell off the cliff.
Yeah, it's funny that EA completely fumbled that, whereas like Madden, they've clearly been able to keep as, you know, the premier football franchise for whatever 20, 30 years.
It's easy when you've got the rights to it.
Yeah,
the only one who can use them. We're the best. You're the only one.
When you say it like that, Miladinovic. I'm gonna be confident in saying Miladinovic with $5 Canadian. Thank you so much. Monster Rancher on the PS1 and Kingdom Under Fire on Xbox. Trying to explain their concepts to friends years later only gave the most confused looks.
I remember Monster Rancher on PS1.
So I had a friend thing.
Yeah, I had a friend who played it. You could literally put any disc you could find into the PS1. Like you start the game, you take in the middle you play the game, you take the disc out, put in just any disc you could find. It would read that disc and like create a monster in the world based off whatever that disc information was. Mm-hmm. It was such a cool ass concept.
Yeah. So it was like a Pokemon, Digimon sort of like, although it might have predated. I don't want to say predated Pokemon, but
it got a show that definitely came out after Pokemon, but I don't know if it was a franchise that existed around the same time. Maybe it was like a manga when Pokemon was like a game or something.
And there was only like one, in my mind, there's only one like notable Monster Rancher monster that I can remember, and it looked like a weird penis with an eye.
Yes,
And that's like not going up against Pikachu. You're like, oh, well, we're gonna lose this branding war. Like penis with an eye is
yeah.
not
That guy was the
as
star
marketable.
of the anime with whoever the protagonist kid was.
Yeah, and he's just like a little. Like,
It worked
little
for
spermatozoa.
Spore, you know.
Did it?
Did it? I don't think it did.
I mean, Spore was a shit game, but I remember the penis with the eye for Spore.
His name was not Suezo. I dated a girl named Suezo. Her last name was Suezo. Not it.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. I was like, that's an
Suezo.
interesting first name.
I dated a penis with an eye. Thank you so much. Fungus Finder with another $2. Marty, dear God, stop talking. That might have been when
Man's
I don't
cooking.
know what I was talking about. Oh, maybe the cat thing. I was gonna say gooning, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, it could be anything, honestly.
Could be many
Yeah,
things.
never-
Yeah.
There's a real freeform. There's a real Miles Davis sketches of Spain jazz episode. We're just freeform. We don't even need to put. Listen, people in the comments are gonna be like, "Are you gonna put timestamps?" There are no timestamps because this is freeform. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Play it in the car.
Please and
driving
thank
your
you.
kids around.
Back in my day, there were no timestamps. Start wherever the VHS tape started and then ended, and that's it.
Just look at the shadows and you keep moving.
Did you guys never had like one of those fancy rewinders? Did you? Like
Like
standalone
VHSs?
VHS
Yeah, it was not
rewinder?
fancy. I thought
I
it was
did, yeah.
poor.
Oh no, I always thought it was fancy because it was like a separate thing.
I did not ascribe a value to the, the VHS.
To me, it's
rewinder.
like if you have like, okay, I was about to say something that I immediately disagreed with myself because I was gonna be like, it's like if you have a separate quesadilla maker at home, and I don't think that's like a rich person thing. So
What? What is a
I
quesadilla
started to
maker?
say it because
A
it's like
panini press?
no, there's like quesadilla makers which are
You,
like,
you and your pizzazz. You find
Yeah,
new
like,
ways
that's
to
just
heat food
super
with it.
specific food.
Yes. That's what I'm getting at. A thing that
Just a
only does
tool.
one thing. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the rewinder only does one thing.
But it
And
does.
same thing with a
But that's
quesadilla
a
maker.
very useful one thing. Like back in those days, like you watched a lot of VHSs. Like folks would just have like people have bookshelves. You'd have a VHS.
Yeah, but like the good VHS tapes could rewind for you. So like having one of my own felt very redundant because
What do you
mine
mean the
was
good one
busted.
could rewind for you?
What do you mean?
Like
you guys
the-
didn't
like
have
the actual-
VCRs that could rewind for you?
Well,
I mean,
sure,
What do you mean
but
for me?
Like
okay,
you
see,
press
you hit a
rewind and
Yeah,
it would
you'd have to wait.
rewind for you. Yeah.
You'd have to wait. So you
Yeah.
take that out. You start watching whatever the next thing is while you're rewinding your tape. Boom.
Well, and the tape rewinders went at a crazy fast speed, I think, compared to like
Yeah,
I did, and
They were on a
busted my
different-
tapes.
they were on a different.
This shit was overclocked.
It was absolutely overclocked. It wasn't mine. I found it somehow in this basement. This huge, thick VHS tape. I had all the Scooby-Doo episodes and movies at the time. That was my most cherished possession. This thing felt like a brick. That's how much tape was in it. I kept watching it, rewinding it, watching it, rewinding it, and then one day, get it out of that thing, and I could hear this thing going, like, all right, that thing was done cooking in 2 seconds. Put it in to play, static. And I'm like, what? Pop it out, open the tops, because you know you could do that back in those days. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
gotta check
where's the tape? It snapped the
Goddamn.
tape. It just kept rewinding.
The worst was I used to rent a lot of movies from the library because it was great. It was free, and they like my local library had a huge VHS section and then a huge DVD section. Like it was great. But I remember a couple of VHSs renting, putting it on, hitting play, and it wasn't at the start. It was just right during a sex scene, and being like, "Oh no, oh no,
That last
what happened to
on
this
themselves.
previous owner?" And it'd be like Mulholland Drive, and be like, "Oh, whoa, come on, what are we doing here?"
What
So
movies were they? Because they had to have been very popular ones. It's not like
I
they
think
were
it was
porn
people who
tapes.
it was like early internet, and so they were like, "Which movies have the sex?"
Yep.
And then they rented
Exactly
Mulholland
what it was.
Drive. They watched the
Hey,
sex.
it's Desperado, Antonio
It feels like if you
Banderas,
get a
and Salma
movie-
Hayek.
Exactly. If you get a movie for free and you
Yeah.
crank out to it, the very least rewind it. Like that is the definition of be kind.
That's why they
rewind.
made it. Yeah, that's why they made Be Kind Rewind.
Yeah.
Or I'll Go Blind is the full saying.
Kind rewind or I'll go blind. Red Dwarf with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Red Dwarf. Twin stick shooter Renegade Ops from Avalanche Studios. Also the Insomniac game flop Fuse. Now remember Fuse.
Yeah, Fuse.
Remember
I
Fuse?
believe-
Yeah.
I believe was originally revealed called Overdrive. It was like a
It was called
four-player.
It was called Overwatch when they
It
first
was
revealed it.
yes,
Whoa.
and it
Overwatch.
was like a four-player, like a more whimsical,
Like it looked kind of like
hero
Overwatch.
shooter. Yeah, like a co-op hero shooter. Yeah, and then they changed its name to Fuse. They made it kind of darker, and no one cared about that. Oh my god, I absolutely remember Fuse. Yeah, that was back when Insomniac was like, I don't know, allowed to fail. Now it's just like
Are they no
make
longer
a
allowed to fail?
no. It's
You're
just like,
not allowed to fail under
game.
Sony, not at all.
Make us a big Marvel game that costs $300 million.
Nothing happened to the what do you call it? The Freakers team. What's the name of their game?
Yeah, what have they done in the last 3/4 of a decade?
You don't hear about them no more, brother.
Yeah,
I mean,
where's their
they're
game?
still
You're thinking
working.
of Days Gone.
Yeah, Days Gone.
So
I
working
guess
on
I
what?
guess Days Gone.
I'm replaying Hellblade, the first Hellblade, and I'm like, this team, the first Hellblade came out in 2017. I'm like, what have y'all been doing? And they released that Bleeding Edge game. But like,
That
did
game was
y'all work on
good.
Bleeding Edge?
Right? Yeah, that must have been like a Splinter team or something, right?
You'd think so. Maybe it's just one of those teams that like we take
Maybe
a while
they
because we have a
just
small
wrapped it up.
team.
Yeah, maybe they really just worked on that and then like went to Senua 2.
It feels
But
like
Bleeding
they
Edge was
could
good.
be that
I'll stand
because
on
like Senua, the actress who plays Senua was just like someone who worked at the studio. She was like
Right,
a video
yeah.
editor or something, and they were like, "You got
Yes.
big eyes, get in the mocap."
Big eyes.
That's how Audrey Plaza's career began.
They were the first ones to do the Kojima soul sucking machine but to
Ah.
their own employees. So there you go. And then the other game, sorry, Renegade Ops from Avalanche Studios. Avalanche, I don't know which Avalanche because there's two Avalanches. This could be the Avalanche who made the Harry Potter game, or this could be the Avalanche who made Just Cause. This is the
Nice.
Just Cause team.
The Just Cause Avalanche.
The Just Cause Rage team, and they're currently working on Contraband, a game that is
Which
definitely
we've
real and is
seen
definitely not fake.
nothing from.
It's like 3 E3s ago, I think we saw a trailer, like a CG trailer. This looks good. This looks like
the logo.
it was like a little
real
more than the
detailed
logo.
twin-stick shooter.
It was like plans on like a jungle table.
that doesn't count for me.
Well, it's more than a logo. It's plans on a jungle table.
I want to see like what you're doing.
Yep.
Like there's driving in that game, right? They've said that. Like supposed to be
Look
like
at this game. It's probably just this.
vehicular combat.
The camera's zoomed in. It's just like that last game. What was it? Red Rocket to Arkham Knight.
Red Dog.
Red Dog. Red Rocket.
Yeah, Red Rocket is not.
You went
Close
to
enough.
Dog's Anatomy.
Oh no.
Clifford's got both of them. James Morgan with $1.99. Thank you so much. MDK, the game where you have a gun for a face. This is a game I remember the cover of deeply and that I have never played. I think because the cover scared me a little bit. It looked like S&M Pyramid Head. And Pyramid Head already kind of looks S&M.
Yeah, he's
And it
pretty
just looked so mean to me. And I was like, why do I want to play this game where this man is so mean?
I've heard so many like stories and rumors around MDK, but I've never like seen gameplay or like touched it or like people that's a legit cult classic though.
Yeah, it was developed by Shiny, who were like during that generation they were kind of big. Like they did the Earthworm Jim in the 2D.
Mhm.
And then they did this, and then they ended up doing, I think, the two Matrix games that came out for Atari in the aughts, like Enter the Matrix and The Matrix Path of Neo.
Yeah, I like Enter the Matrix. I know that game
I
is
like
bad.
the
I still like
too.
it.
Yeah. I don't know if it was good.
It's
It
not
wasn't-
good. It's not good.
It's
But I
not
like
good
it.
at all. But it was fun.
And it is pretty smart to be like, you got to play this if you want to see scenes from the movie that you're really excited for.
Yeah, it's just
before
extra Matrix movie, and I love those movies.
Honest Matrix, exactly. Joel Rao with another €2. Thank you so much. Played Succubus by Team of Agony. I'm a horn dog. Oh no.
Is
Come
this like a porn game?
I'm Googling it. I'm Googling it for science. Eric, be careful about putting it in that corner. We don't know what
Yeah.
sort of
Let Marty go first.
no, this doesn't look too there's something. Yeah. Maybe not Google this. Maybe don't Google this. This is Agony. Remember Agony, the mean game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Hell. It was like Scorn, but
Well,
more Hell. Apparently they have a more horned up version about succubi.
It was those
Succubacy?
same people.
It is. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for bringing that. I don't think this thing is vulgar, but I appreciate this. It's like a little, if you click on the video right now, you'll be able to unblur that. That's how you farm engagement. It's the thing about the whole like look between the Q and the E.
I don't understand that trend.
Yeah, like,
It's
and
because
honestly, I don't
no way.
want to. I don't want to
Because
understand
people click the video or click the post, open up their keyboard, and Twitter registers that as like a super engagement because
Open up
you are
their
clicking.
keyboard.
Yeah, because it says look between these. So if you're on your phone, say,
Oh, okay.
it's like you opening up your keyboard while looking at this tweet. Twitter considers, oh, you're about to post, which means that's like a super engagement. So that's why people are doing it.
Ew.
Stupid.
That's not fun at all. no.
I never look
Ew.
at Twitter to post with my phone.
Yeah,
Twitter's a
Twitter-
job to me.
Oh,
Why? If
absolutely.
someone was like,
Only
it's
on- it's only
between
on
the Q and
desktop.
the E, you'd be like, well, I gotta check this out.
No,
Gotta see
brother,
what's going on here.
I tweet between the 9 and the 5. I do not have that on my phone.
Exactly.
I looked at my keyboard there and I was like, oh, there's a 6, 7, 8. Steve the Rabbit with a $10 dono. Thank you so much, Steve. When I was a kid, my dad brought home a pre-production cartridge of Captain Novolin for the SNES for me to test. No, he didn't work for Nintendo, but he was an endocrinologist that knew the guys who made it. That's incredible. Captain Novolin. Did you break Bargos as a child? Could you imagine being a Bargo busting child?
Is that Wendy Williams in this game?
That can't be
Bro.
Wendy Williams. That woman's white. She's Caucasian.
Have you seen Wendy Williams lately?
Oh no.
Hold up. Hold up. Is an endocrinologist getting games? Wait.
This is an edutainment game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just home.
Oh, all right. There you go. Because I was like, wait
You
a
guys
minute.
know what an endocrinologist is? Because I didn't. I just rolled past it and tried to
It's
pretend I knew it.
it's a
I mean, I know it's a kind of doctor, but like which
for
flavor, I'm not
endocrinologies,
sure.
you know? Like,
Yeah, its definition was it diagnoses and treats diseases of the endocrine system. And I'm like, well, I don't know what that is either. And I had to Google it for. It's all about glands and hormones.
oh, like your lymph nodes and stuff.
yeah,
Right.
like a gland doctor.
If it's a gland, they're on it.
Salivatory glands.
Yeah.
It's a gland. Gland to meet
Yeah.
you.
Gland to be. So Captain Novolin. I bet this game is worth a ton of money. By the way,
Is
I bet
this
this
in
game-
Osmosis Bones?
Was this put out by
I
like a
bet-
pharmaceutical company?
Maybe.
Sculptured Software. Ooh. Oh, they were a subsidiary of Acclaim.
Look at that. You just got your glucose and everything. This is good. Kids should have this. None of that, like, bread is the most important food group propaganda. You guys remember that? The
Yeah.
food pyramid
Pyramid? Yeah.
just be nothing but bread at the bottom.
You just hella
Yeah.
bread. Like, yo, eat all these
Carbs.
carbs, children.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree that it's propaganda, but also like bread is delicious.
But also, as kids, I think you do need all those carbs because they be running
do
around all
as a
crazy.
child. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All that
Like they
energy.
burn so fast. Like, yes, fill them with carbs.
Just
Yeah.
eating bread out the bag, dipping it in anything runnier than bread. Oh.
Anything runnier than bread. Thank you so much, Steve. Paul with a $2 dono. PSA: support your local library. I agree. And also rewind movies if you get them on VHS from your local library. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they probably have them on VHS anymore, but if they do, rewind them, especially if you're doing a crank off. Steady Goblin Wood.
Especially if you're gooning.
Oh, no, Steady Goblin Wood. Steady Goblin Wood with a $2 dono. Really love the banter from you three. More of this. I didn't like. Wow, I walked into that one.
Mm.
That wasn't great.
Mouth open and everything.
Did you guys have any games?
Oh, yeah,
many.
I was literally reading super chats for.
because they were
30
adding
minutes.
to this discussion.
Yeah, they
but, like,
kept
yeah, I
adding
wrote
to
a
it.
couple down. I mean, I guess I'll start with like probably the oldest one I have on my list. Super Off-Road Challenge, the Baja was a racing game. Kind of it had the Cruisin' USA style, but it had this very old looking man who I guess was like a race car driver. Like, I don't remember his name, but the game made such a big deal out of him just being the best at this sport. He was always like number one when you were like racing, and like you would have to like beat him towards the end. It was really fun. Like, it was because apparently this race is a real race that this game was representing, and it takes place over like a couple of days or like a week or something. And like you have to like strategize by, all right, your car has gone this far across the Baja. So based on your place, you win a certain amount of money, and you can buy like upgrades for like the next race. Like you can like tune up your engine. Yes, Eric has it up on screen right now. Like you can tune up your engine. You could buy like lights because like it gets dark for a certain section of the race, and if you don't have lights, you're literally racing like almost pitch black. A little bit. Like cool. It was a strategic arcade racer.
Imagine.
And it had a 2-player mode.
What was this? Fun. Super Nintendo?
Yeah, it was on Super Nintendo.
That looks nice.
Man, I absolutely don't remember this.
It was a lot of fun. I liked it.
I feel like it has a lot of really interesting ideas for it that like it was kind of ahead of its time.
Isn't that what Pacific Drive is now?
Is this just Pacific Drive?
No, it's not. It's not
this
at all.
It's just Pacific Drive. At night, the Cthulhu come out. Is that what I still haven't played Pacific Drive?
I haven't played it either, and it sounds like super up my alley yet. I've just been so busy.
It looks like real. Like I had to get gas today. And I'm like, that's the most I want to know about my car. Is like which side to put gas in. Anything more than that, I'm like, I don't.
Which side do I put gas in? And sometimes I fuck it up and have to drive around.
Sometimes I just start poking holes in the side of my car. That's good. Did you have any others, Casey?
Oh, yes. Some of these are more recent. I was remembering like other ones as we were talking about stuff. But stuff I wrote down. Horus is a game I actually reviewed forever ago. Like I want to say Early Escapist.
Okay.
I reviewed Horus. And it's it was it's a platformer like one of those hardcore platformers where like you got to do like really precise jumps and like use whatever new abilities you get. It's got some puzzly elements where like later on you like get the ability to like walk on like walls and ceilings and things. But it had a super interesting story. And like Eric has it on screen right now. Like it was like it's shot very cinematically. Like everything is voiced. Like they're using depth of field and whatnot, but it's all pixel art. And like it's this story about like this robot who was developed by this guy, and it becomes like kind of a part of that guy's family. But then like he mass produces them, and then like there's some sort of robot revolution, and then years go by, and then like you're kind of just the only friendly robot left in the world. And then like you're just trying to like make your way back to like that family that like created you amidst like all these like political tensions, but like it's just a platformer. But like I had a really good time with it. Like it's really, really smart.
Isn't this that game? I don't know who it was that streamed it. I want to say it was Yahtzee. I was shitting on it while he was playing it, and the dev walked in.
Yahtzee also reviewed this game. He was playing it for a post ZP, and the dev was in chat, and they were not seeing eye to eye. Like the guy was not happy. I loved it. Yahtzee did not feel the same.
Oh, a little chat scruffle.
Unfortunate.
Incredible. Well, there you go, Horace. Anything else?
There's a really good arcade volleyball game called Super Volley Blast. I played it almost immediately after like I finished binging everything I could of Haikyuu, like the volleyball anime that I'm in love with, because like I really just couldn't get enough. So I found this game. I played it with my son, and we had a ton of fun. Like it's like really competent in terms of its like 2-player mechanics, but the AI is kind of like real stupid. So it sucks playing against AI. Like you really want to play against another person to get the most out of this thing. But like the mechanics really function.
Absolutely one of those games where I'm like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's just a random console game. It's probably on Steam or something too, I bet.
Because there was the Dodgeball RPG I was thinking of. Dodgeball Academy.
Dodgeball Academia or something.
Right. Yeah. Dodgeball Academia. Yeah, that was it, because it was like My Hero Academia. Yeah. See, there you go. Those games no one knows actually exist. Frost, what do you got?
A bunch of nonsense, I'll tell you what, brother. Because I never actively bought games. I had older cousins. They weren't even my consoles. I was just like, some days it'd be raining and I was out of books or something like that. And I'm like, all right, what's going on in here? And I'd go flipping through their CD holder and find these random games. It's like, whatever. I was very judged by the cover. So we got Super Shot Soccer. If you've ever seen Shaolin Soccer, it's the exact same thing, but more racist, because you can play the French team, and your ultimate is you are as the Eiffel Tower. If you're playing as Italy, you are as the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You know, it's Mexico because I'm.
Yeah, are you just like
it's not just that.
Great Wall of China's your goalie?
Yes, that is it. Yes, as like just stereotypical as you can make this thing, and I think America is like a freedom shot or something. It's
sure.
and goes off, shot. And, you know, whatever. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
Funny game for sure. Then you had was it Ore Noriori, which was an old cooking game on the demo disc. I didn't know the successors over and over and over again were the guys that went on to make Cook Serve Delicious. I was like, oh, that's cool. But it's showing right now absolute fever dream of a game because you can cut your hand, and you've got this very hyper Japanese style going on. A lot of sounds, a lot of phonetics happening through there, and it's very foreign, sure. But then you just hear as he gets his hand with the knife, and there's blood coming through. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm 5. This is too much for me.
This is incredible.
Yeah, this looks like WarioWare almost.
It essentially works like it. Yeah, this is the most hectic cooking game, probably the best cooking game that has ever existed.
We used to be a society, and we used to play games like this on a demo disc for kids to just be very confused at.
Look at that! I used to pour beer for people, at a ripe age. We'll go here. Bloody Roar 2, the new breed.
Game. I remember the Bloody Roar here series. Yeah.
Fighting game, I think it was like a 3D one. Very sick campaigns because each character had their own. I liked it a lot more than Mortal Kombat ended up making, because that one felt like, hey, we must fight because we must, whereas this one was like, very much what would you call that? I guess it's one storyline, but it's just through the perspective of everyone.
So everyone's story was part of the larger story, as opposed to but
they would stories. Kind of like a modern way to tell fighting game stories, right? Where you ping pong between.
I suppose, yeah. Each of them had their own campaign, and it would usually cross and end.
It was the first cinematic universe. Kevin Feige played Bloody Roar 2 and was like, I have an idea.
I have an idea. Yeah, I was there. There was
I remember playing a lot of that in an arcade in Disney World. Like in Epcot Center arcade, they had Bloody Roar 2. I spent a lot of time in there because all those arcades were free once you already paid to get in the park.
What a time. Also, the chameleon dude in there, absolute creeper. Weird guy.
Every fighting game's got to have one Voldo.
One Freako.
Yeah, one Freako is crawling on the ground and just getting ready to fuck.
Freaking me out. Absolutely. Some weird Bible trivia game that I had no idea. It's the only thing I was allowed to play whenever things got really secular, right? But oh well, maybe that's where my love for trivia came from. Close enough, Eric, right? No, this was like old just PlayStation game. Now,
you know where my love for trivia came from? This might be before your time, Bros. Casey, do you remember the Encarta Encyclopedia, the Microsoft thing?
Yes, the discs.
And they had a trivia thing on it where you went through like a little wizard quest. And there was a riddle wizard that you had to solve the riddle wizard's labyrinth. It was great.
I used to love those discs, and that was straight up. Hey, kids, sit your ass down here and learn some shit.
Yeah, but it was
so interactive. That's I love that thing.
They don't do them like that no more. So Jumper, the movie, but it's Griffin's story. You get to play as I think he's Irish or Scottish guy, fella. Horrible. Probably the worst game I've ever played. That is the standard for what is this piece of crap garbage? I got you for $5 out of the bargain bin, and I had to pay double to not play that game. That was terrible. Awful thing. Don't even bother showing it.
The studio doesn't exist anymore.
Good. It's for the best. Hope they sell tires now. And this is a better looking one. The one I had was way worse graphics.
The developer was named Red Tribe. They only existed for 4 years. Red Tribe won Business 3000's Export Business of the Year in 2007.
Export business?
I think they're Australian, so technically their games.
Their game is okay. Export to
all right.
The U.S.
There you
go. Why not? All right then. Next one, Cool Spot SNES. Do you guys remember when 7-Up tried to make a mascot platformer of their the 7-Up red dot? That was him.
Yeah, sunglasses.
There it is. Love it.
I miss corporations and restaurants and stuff just being like, oh yeah, we could totally make we can have a Chester Cheeto game. Everyone loves the cheetah who gets your fucking fingers all yellow after you eat his little snacks.
Like, I love that. I remember like Doritos Crash Course and the Burger King kart racing games. Like, those are pretty bangers.
See, that's the problem is people got too mad about sponsorships and corporations. And I'm like, listen, if corporations are wasting their money on dumb shit like this, it's very funny. We should.
All I'm saying is like it's a good thing that they have legislation to stop corporations from having mascots sometimes, like Camel Joe. I love a good corporate mascot. I don't know why, I just do. Good stuff there.
I also
the
wish
Gecko Gecko's still killing it.
Yeah, but like Ronald's gone. You know, Ronald McDonald not here anymore.
he's got because he got Grimace.
He got grimaced.
He got grimaced.
Yeah, he got grimaced. Yeah, but then they had their problem when you start putting it against a real man. That's when you get into sticky situations. That's when you get into your Jareds, and you don't want a Jared.
Fucking Jared here.
Yeah.
But that's when you get into your Jakes, and we've talked about Jake from State Farm, and I feel bad about that man. He's like Subway from Community.
Yes,
the man who's just named Subway. He just has to be this man forever.
Yeah, him, Flo. There's a Toyota lady who they're going for that too. Like all I know is that she wears a red shirt. There's the the AT&T lady who broke out of that and like started getting acting roles.
She's
like
good. She needs to escape that. She was in the Werewolves Within movie. She was.
Was she?
Yeah,
she was in this other like Netflix series, whatever.
Yeah.
Wacky stuff. All right.
Yeah, she's trying to break that mold, but she did go back. Like she's still doing those commercials at the same time.
Yeah, they probably pay good money. You get a free phone.
But
do you guys remember when the "Can you hear me now" guy from Verizon went to Sprint?
The traitor. I do. Yes.
Fucking Benedict.
I worked at Verizon just when that, like, right after that happened. Like, Verizon betrayed him.
Like, if they can't make it work, there's no hope for anybody, man. Like when Bill Gates broke up with Melinda, I was devastated. All that money and she can't stand you, bro? Like, wow.
You got a bad person.
You could be in like the mansion next door. You have that much money. And she still said, I cannot, William. I am not having this. Like, wow. How obnoxious do you have to be?
Like Windows 8 was like the last straw.
Let it go. On to the next one, because I made way too many. Inspector Gadget's Crazy Maze. This was a weird time where, again, I was just sort of renting games at the movie rental place, just based on the covers. I like the Inspector Gadget cartoons. I like Matthew Broderick's Inspector Gadget movie.
Sure. Yeah, no, that movie's good.
It's so good. And I said, all right, this will be fun. I didn't think I'd be like getting chased by spies across the map. I get like level 3, dog. Chasing me down. I can't just have a nice fun time in the maze. This is the first time I felt anxiety as a child and I didn't understand what was happening.
This is incredible. I love the top down. Hey, you know who it's published by? Ubi Space Soft.
Oh my god.
Casey,
unsurprising.
Can you get the creative director of Inspector Gadget Gadget's Crazy Maze on the pod?
I don't think that man's still alive.
He was back when there was ubiquitous software.
You could shoot. Oh no, that's right. It was temporary. That's right. It was a temporary stun.
He didn't shoot bullets. He never killed a man.
Yeah,
right?
he had a finger type gun thing. I don't know I don't remember what came out of it though. Was it bullets? Was it actual bullets?
Was it nails?
See, this is easy going. This was fine, but there was just like one weird dude that would come chase you down. I wasn't having it.
This looks kind of like the Goof Troop game for Super Nintendo that Shinji Mikami directed. Top down, little puzzle action game. Good shit.
Yeah, that stuff.
What else you got?
Jackie Chan's Stunt Master. Anybody else play this? Like,
I've heard of this. I have heard of this game.
Was that around the time like the cartoon came out, Jackie Chan's Wild Adventure? Or whatever
no, this is actually him.
Jackie Chan Adventures.
Jackie Chan Adventures, not Wild. I mean, they were kind of wild, but
they were Wild Adventures. But no, this was just him as his own brand. I don't think it was a collectathon. Yeah, he's out here platforming, doing his own stunts.
This just kind of looks like Sifu, if I'm being honest.
No, because the next one is Sifu. Jet Li Rise to Honor was Sifu before Sifu. It was so freaking good. It was also Batman before Batman did the like slap combos over and over. Like, oh my god, that was so good. Jet Li's Rise to Honor. That was PlayStation 2. Those are my boys. I just had this weird thing because at that point I was still like liking more movies than I was games, and if I could recognize it from a movie, I was like, all right, I like Jackie Chan, I like Jet Li. Look at that.
Do we have an action star now who could just have a game?
The Rock and his mahjong game. I don't.
The Rock and his mahjong.
Like who?
Vin Diesel. He's already doing it.
Oh, that's right. He's in Ark.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true.
He's been in a couple, honestly.
Rock City.
Yeah. I guess we had a John Wick game. Yeah, and you get like the actors that are
Yeah.
sort of
Death Stranding.
They
expendable.
didn't put Daniel Craig in a Bond game yet, did they?
They have his likeness in one of them. Yeah, but I don't think he actually did the VO of it. I think he had the likeness. Oh yeah, Nick in the chat mentioned John Woo's Stranglehold. Remember that game?
Yeah, one of the greatest demos I'd ever played.
Demos! What a good demo! That was one of those games where like the Havoc physics engine was just going wild and shit
It
was
was
just blowing up everywhere.
it was such a good first impression, but it got
Yeah.
so boring.
Sure,
like
yeah.
I bought the shit out of that game.
That's
It
why I
was
think
so boring.
some games should be allowed to be 35 minutes long and not cost any money.
It did have a cool remedy for implementing its bullet time in multiplayer, because that game had multiplayer like everything did back then. If you were
Eyesight,
in
right?
if you had line of sight to the person that you triggered bullet time in, you and that person would be in bullet time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which feels dangerous because then it's like someone comes up behind you who's like, who's this fool?
Yeah, like, you don't know why you're all suddenly moving in slow motion. It probably feels awful for the other person. That's probably why I didn't catch on.
Yeah, well, it was smart because it was one of those tricky things of how do you actually implement this. What else do you have, Frost?
Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi.
That was the fighting game.
It was the fighting game of all things.
Yeah.
I was on a Star Wars binge after Star Wars Battlefront 2 that made me watch all the Star Wars movies. I was like, I can get down with these. Sure, why not? I also bought games at a pawn shops, so
Sure.
this came in a bundle.
Yeah.
And in that same bundle, I believe, was All-Star Slam and D-Ball. This was Dodgeball before Knockout City, before what is it, Dodgeball Academia that you talked about?
D-ball?
All-Star Slamming D-Ball. Slamming the ball.
I don't like calling something D-ball, personally.
D-ball, dodgeball. It was great. D-ball. It was like your fight. It was back in those days how, like, I guess Street Fighter did this thing too. Every opponent you had was normal, and then the bosses were like aliens or demons or
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
yeah, a lot of fighting games did that where it's like, all right, this is like a humanoid thing of your size, and then you get to the boss, and you're like, you're too big.
Yeah, right. Like Tekken. What did you fight? Like Montezuma or something?
The last guy.
Yeah, you're a devil. Or like Master Hand. I'm like, what are you doing? You're a couple hands in the sky. Get out of here.
Street Fighter Alpha as well, like the big robot or whatever that you're fighting.
I don't want to fight a robot. I don't want to fight any of these things. Masters of Terras Kasi, I played a lot of. That was a very bad game.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that game is not good. I played that too.
Yeah.
Those are mine, but one person did say, and I forgot to put it in there. But actually, this is probably popular, so it probably doesn't count, but it counts as a fever dream of a game. Shrek Super Slam. Oh my God.
Is that the Mario like the party game?
That is the Smash of Shrek.
Smash.
Yeah, I'm amazed it didn't kill Smash. If we're being honest, like the combos, the campaign, the party modes. Wow, Nintendo must have been screaming. Like, how could you? Gino was the boy.
This game.
See, like this looks like Power Stone. Like Power Stone had like the sort of like arena, like 3D arena type thing. You ran around, you fought people on this grid. And that was a lot of fun. And I couldn't figure out why more people weren't doing this style. Like it would always be like kind of a side mode in some other game.
Yeah. As opposed to here's a little 3D arena to run around.
Yeah, like Shaolin Monks from like Mortal Kombat had that. And that game mode was really fun in that. Everything or Nothing, like that James Bond game that EA did, had like it's a shooter game, but they also put them in an arena and let you fight it out. And it was really fun.
I was.
Do you guys remember freaking Custom Robo?
Yeah, Custom Robo was great. Wow.
Yeah, that game was all right.
I feel like there are just certain consoles that were like, ooh, yeah, you had a lot of those. Like I feel like the GameCube generation, the original Xbox generation, like the PS1. There was just consoles, N64, were like, ooh, you have a lot of those games where it's like, ooh, I don't actually remember this thing, but I have this little inkling in the back of my head. I also tried to see if Shrek Super Slam was on Steam, and I accidentally found my way to the Shrek wiki, which is just called the Shrekky.
Wait a minute. Whoops.
Are you on the Shrekky?
No, not that. Custom Robo.
Yeah,
I think I did play this game, and I think I thought it was Armored Core. This might have been my first. This might have been my first. Armored Core 6 might have been my first Armored Core, and most of my love came from this.
That's really
I was
funny.
at a Walmart, bro. Oh, because I remember this arena. It was very like some cyberspace for the time, you know. Like, oh shoot,
Yeah, it was also a Pokemon like.
Sure.
I don't
like
remember that bit.
you had to like you had like like you built like your robot, and then you would go to these arenas and you would fight other people, and like the gameplay was you guys looking down on the arena where your robots would like fight and you had control over them.
Wasn't it, like there was
It's a
one
fun
of those,
concept.
like Metabots.
Yeah, that was an anime I remember. Yeah,
Was that anything like that where you like made a robot and you looked down on him?
Metabots was
Not
close to
look down on him,
Pokemon.
like, okay.
It was because like the robots were like they walked around with you, like
Oh, gotcha.
they also like just spoke in full sentences and shit.
At this point, I'd be worried of being like, oh, does this thing have like sentience?
Yeah, they totally had sentience like that.
Yeah.
And you remember Zatch Bell? Because it was that.
I
as
remember
well.
its name. I don't remember any. I just remember its name being very dumb.
Awful
Zatch
show.
Bell.
God, that show was annoying. It's
Yeah,
just
I
another
think-
Pokemon clone.
All of this was during my hiatus from anime.
You know, a
I don't know.
good time window to skip.
Probably a good time, yeah. But then I missed like the big three. I missed like Naruto and Bleach and all that shit.
It's okay that you missed Bleach. Naruto, you can.
Wow.
You should catch up.
There's some.
I
Bleach
love
boys out there
Bleach.
who get very
I
fast.
loved Bleach, but Bleach does not hold up, so it's fine.
Oh,
And the new Bleach is not good.
Oh, there's a new Bleach.
Yeah, they're finishing the series. They're finishing the story.
Are you mad because it was whitewashed?
It got it got canceled.
Oh, that was a Bleach
Before-
joke. I don't know
Oh.
anything about it.
wow.
Because it got whitewashed.
This guy.
I don't know anything about. I don't even know what Bleach is about. It's about ninjas.
It's about laundry
It's
detergent.
about the opposite of ninjas. It's about samurai.
That can't be the opposite of ninjas. Those have to be like down the same tree.
This is this is absolutely true. I remember first time learning that ninjas and samurais were like cats and dogs. Was ultimate muscle. Mm-hmm. They
They're
had a
on
big
opposite
showdown.
sides of their
Natural enemies.
caste system. Like
Yup.
samurai are in the open, straight up honor. Ninjas are subterfuge in the shadows. They're spies.
I think
Like
it's
spies and
horseshit. Also,
soldiers.
I think cats and dogs are very similar.
Did you not see
They
the
all give me
movie?
asthma attacks.
Did you not see the movie with Tobey Maguire? And
I did not. No, I saw The Great Gatsby with Tobey Maguire, and I think that was the last Tobey Maguire film I saw. No, I saw Spider-Man, the most recent one. He was in that.
Wasn't he also in like Sea Biscuit or something?
Yes,
He was. He couldn't see out of one of his eyes,
He's
or his
pretty
horse
good in
couldn't
it.
see. One of them couldn't see out. One
The
of
horse, the horse couldn't see out of his left eye.
See,
Maguire
yeah.
couldn't see out of his right eye.
There you go.
So they had to work together.
Hey,
to get down that.
no.
Loving it.
Was that all you had, Frost?
Those are mine. Yeah,
Beautiful.
Marty, what's your load? Dump
No, what?
Nah.
it. Load, brother.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, I'm loading. 2 PC games starting off with when I was a kid. I played a lot of Myst and Riven with my dad, like those adventure games, and I got into like Grim Fandango and shit. And then 2 adventure games we played that I've never heard of anyone else say was Time Lapse and Muppet Treasure Island. Time Lapse was a first-person, a Myst-like adventure game where you went around to like the 7 wonders of the world, but then you found these fucking portals that took you to like an ancient Atlantean society, and you were solving. It was you were just misting around, like clicking things, pointing things. Frost, you just streamed Botany Manor. It was like a predecessor to Botany Manor. Except instead of growing plants, you were just fucking clicking things and seeing FMVs of dudes who would show up and be like, "Oh no, Atlantis is sinking." I'm sure this game is terrible now. However, I would fucking kill someone for a port for this. I would literally murder.
This
On
dude talking to
Steam,
you
what
was
do you
just in
mean?
a suit.
Yeah, because he was in Atlantis. Atlantis was like a regular ass society. And then there was like a dude who was like a mirror man. I think he was ruining anything. I'm just remembering this now. There was like a dude who kept showing up at these places and ruining shit. And he was like a mirror man. He was like a man who was just made of mirrors. Like you look at like in Annihilation. Remember at the end of Annihilation, a mirror man came out.
You gotta stop saying mirror man.
He was just I don't know what else to call him. He was just a man of mirrors.
On Steam for $6.
No, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Steam? Like Valve?
Valve Steam, yeah. Your friend Professor Nichols has gone missing, armed with the archaeologist's journal. You set out on a journey that will take you to places and times you haven't even dreamt of.
We're doing it. We're streaming it tomorrow. None of this absolutely probably won't work on a modern PC. And then the other PC game, Muppet Treasure Island. It was a point-and-click adventure game based on the movie Muppet Treasure Island with a bunch of original shit from Tim Curry. And it was this incredible point-and-click adventure game, like an old LucasArts adventure game where, you again went to a static screen, clicked on things, but it was this incredible, like, it was the fucking Muppets. And it was Tim Curry acting in this, like, swashbuckling adventure game going around like the setting of Muppet Treasure Island and everything. Absolutely incredible. Do you guys
Yeah, it
remember
sounds
Muppet
great.
Treasure Island, the movie?
Of course,
I don't think
Tim
I've ever
Curry.
seen. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen. I've seen a bunch of other Muppet movies, but
Oh
not
my
that
god,
one.
Curry,
Muppet Treasure
man.
Island is probably the best. It's so good.
Yeah, I gotta get on that.
Yeah, Tim Curry absolutely fucking chewing scenery in that. And then again, speaking of Iggy Wrecking Ball, a couple N64 games that stood out to me. One was Beetle Adventure Racing, which I feel like I brought up before. This was a sponsored. This was a Beetle, like Volkswagen Beetle racing game. However, they were somehow fine with like giving you missiles and stuff. So you'd be like driving like a VW Bug, but you'd also be shooting missiles at other cars. And the tracks were also probably some of the most interestingly designed tracks of any game at that time. It wasn't like Cruising USA where it was just a fucking straight line. Like there were shortcuts and there were things you could make happen to the track and have the level sort of evolve a little bit on the way on, like throughout different laps. And I just remember playing the game and being like, oh, like racing games should be more like this as opposed to just making a bunch of left-hand turns. Also, shout out to the VW Beetle Corporation. I hope
What
you're doing
is
well.
CTR?
Yeah, like that. This looks impressive.
This is
great for them.
especially like that's just good looking bugs.
Yeah,
That's Crash Team Racing with the
look at
environmentals.
bugs.
Yeah.
And then the other N64 game was Space Station Silicon Valley. That was the game by DMA Designs, which would go on to become Rockstar. So this was pre-GTA. They did a 3D puzzle platformer where you played as a dude who could control a little robot aboard a space station that had all of these electronic animals, like almost like a whole like biosphere. And you would use your little like spider robot to hijack all the different animal robots to have to solve the puzzles of each level. And each animal that you would hijack had different abilities. So it'd be like,
This
right now you
is-
see this dog with
This is
wheels.
Mario Odyssey.
It's absolutely, you are Cappy the whole time. And you're like, oh, if I want to do the underwater puzzles, I have to become something that can fuck with the water. If I want to be fast, I want to be this dog with wheels. If I want to have the ability to dig, I have to be this aardvark. And it was these like just really smart, clever puzzle arenas. Yeah, the game was great. And with the release of Iggy's Wrecking Ball, I keep hoping that like Nintendo, I'm like, you're going into the weird well for games on Switch Online. So like, I feel like it's possible for them to release this game. Look at this dude. Look at this fucking chode. And I think that might have been you. You might be that dude.
Yeah, that is not like a kid. That was like a 40-year-old man.
He's a child at heart. And then the last one I'll bring up was a GameCube game called Odama.
Yeah,
With
that
a
with the
D.
big ball.
The big ball. Oh, thanks, Odama. It was this was a militaristic. This is a war game set in feudal Japan. However, its whole thing was your side has harnessed the power of the Odama, which is a large ball that you're able to flick at the armies, and so it is a pinball game because you have the Odama, but you also play it with a microphone. And so you are flinging pinballs with the controller and you're shouting out commands to your units in the microphone, and none of it's good. Like none of it's good.
So this
I don't know.
didn't work.
None of it worked. None of it worked on any level. However, again, I was able to have this on modern platforms. It was great. Yeah. Especially if I just finished watching Shogun and I kept hoping that the Odama would show up in the last episode, and that would be like Deus Ex Odama would just roll in and completely destroy everyone. So Odama. Everyone buy and play Odama. I don't know how, and I don't think your money's going to anyone who actually made Odama, but I highly suggest it.
I mean, it does. It's visually arresting, to say the least.
I completely agree. I mean, I feel like that was the GameCube in a nutshell. Everything looked kind of good. And before we move on to the final stretch of the show, we got a bunch of super chats. Zoe with a $10 dono. Thank you so much. Speaking of the GameCube, Ribbit King on GameCube. I saw a streamer playing it recently and it had me yelling at the screen. I didn't know anyone else who had heard of it, let alone played it. Ribbit King, if I remember, was a golf game to where you either hit frogs with your golf club or you were frogs. Like the balls were frogs. The golf balls were frogs. And you had to golf, but you were frogs. Frog in.
Frog in.
Frog in.
Frog in, frog out.
I put this around
Okay.
the same time as like a Katamari Damacy, Mr. Mosquito, like one of those. What is going on over here? I didn't realize we could do this with games, kinds of things. Shout out to
Yeah. Get weird.
Sean Harriman with a $2 dono. Yukon Trail, the superior version of Oregon Trail.
Get to find some potatoes, eh?
It's just northern Oregon trailer, southern Canadian trail. Jewel Rao, thank you so much for the €2. Old Hugo games, the QTE FMVs, love that dumb stuff. I do miss FMV games. I'd like everyone's.
I don't know if I've ever really played an FMV game that like I got into, or I don't know if I've played an FMV game. Now I'm thinking about it.
Was it Immortality?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you played the modern ones like Immortality and Telling
Oh,
Lies.
sure. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
Story.
Yeah,
Not Her Story. Sorry, Telling Lies. I played. I guess that counts.
Yeah, but those obviously there were like the older ones. Your like Night Trap was the big one that caused the whole hullabaloo over over like the violence and sexuality. Even though if you look back at the game now, it is like shockingly tame. But you know what? Politicians had to yell at something back in the day.
Yeah.
King Dead, 4 months in the tip jar. Thank you so much, King Dead. Night Breeze with $2 dono. My game was hurdy-gurdy for the PS2. It wasn't good.
Like, is it just the instrument? Like, was that game you trying to play the actual hurdy-gurdy?
Oh my goodness, what is this? It looks like Gollum. But better, honestly.
No. Yeah, this looks like that Hobbit game.
Yeah. Is this the new Tales of Shire or whatever it's called?
I bought hurdy-gurdy like 2 weeks ago.
What? Why?
Bought hurdy-gurdy because I was at a used game store and it was cheap, and I know the game had comic mischief in it. I don't know because I'm weird and I just want to build this collection and I want to never leave my basement.
It looks like a Hobbit game.
Are
you in
how
the
nice
Shire?
This can't be hurdy-gurdy. Is this what the game looks like?
This
I
is
haven't
what
put it
the
in
game
my
is.
PS2 yet. Oh no! I thought it was gonna be about a pink bear.
Oh
What
no.
happened? I got tricked by hurdy-gurdy. Shout out to hurdy-gurdy.
He looks like whatever Jack is from Jack and Daxter.
He's the man.
He's not a man. Have you looked at Jack? That is not a man.
Kind of weasel, man.
Jack from Jack and Daxter. He's a man. The other guy, Daxter's a little.
You need to look at Jack, Marty. I don't think you've taken a close enough look at Jack.
Oh. Jack's just like an elf.
Oh, he's a dude.
He's not a dude. He's not a dude.
I don't know
Got
what's
pointy
happening now.
ears, brother. That's it.
Some people have weird ears. Genetic deformations. It's fine.
It's like a
You
druid.
guys are tripping. Now I need to look at
Deebs.
Jack.
It's
Deebs
just
with
like
a
my
$2
cousin.
All of a sudden, Naughty Dog's going to see like a giant spike and people Googling Jack. Like, maybe we should make another one.
Bring it back.
Maybe we should bring it back. Deebs with a $2 dono. Can we get an HBD for my cats, Harvey and Gannon? HBD, Harvey and Gannon.
HPD. Gannon, I get Harvey because Dent
Harvey,
or
Harvey Birdman? Harvey Dent?
Harvey Kinkle from Sabrina Teenage Witch.
Harvey Keitel, the renowned actor. What do we think? What Harvey? Probably Dent, right?
Harvey Mandel. No, that's Howie.
You're thinking of Howie Mandel.
I am.
He doesn't want to shake hands with anyone. Schubert with a $10 dono. Thank you so much, Schubert. For some reason, I was moved to sadness as a 10-year-old when in Encarta 96, I came across a sound clip of Richard Nixon resigning. I had no political affiliation and now harbor hatred for Nixon. 10 out of 10. I feel like I could be emotional.
Wow.
If you hear that man, his voice is like trembling a little bit. He's like, fuck, I got caught doing a bunch of illegals. I gotta quit. Shout out to Richard Nixon, though.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who did a bunch of illegals, it was good on him to quit after.
That's true. If only more of us could
follow that example.
Harvey is named after Harvey Dent. There you go.
Yay. There you go.
And shout out to Richard Nixon there in the corner. Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Gex Enter the Gecko for the Game Boy Color, a classic. I never played the handheld ones, but I played all the 3D ones, and I'm excited that Limited Run is publishing them again. They're coming back. In the year of our Lord 2024, Gex will return. And let me tell you, the jokes he was making, they will not fly this year.
No.
they will not fly.
We're lucky we might get canceled this year,
Ooh,
boys.
Gex, we're gonna play Gex, and people are gonna be like, "Ooh, yikes!" Stellar Blade, eat your heart out. People are gonna be upset at this.
Hold on, I'm gonna send you guys the Jack and Daxter wiki right now, because the wiki does claim that Jack is a human, but just look at this picture.
There's weird dudes. Do you not go outside and see weird dudes all the time?
Well,
this is not human anatomy.
That's just a scene kid, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually like, it's not that he's wearing goggles. It's all a whole hat. The ears, the goggle bit, the hair. It's all a hat. He's bald.
I think his weirdest thing is he's got a big gap between his big toe and his next toe.
That's
weirdest.
He's got
hobbit feet. Like, these aren't human feet proportions.
He's got bandages.
He wears a size 20.
Sure, something. Yeah,
So Shaq,
grow into those boats. You know?
That's why he's
a
barefoot
human.
right now. No shoes will fit him.
Everyone's saying I'm with Casey. You can stand with Casey. Listen, I'm an originalist. If Naughty Dog says he's a human, if the wiki says he's a human,
the wiki says he's a human, but like, what did they think humans looked like back then?
What do you mean back then? It wasn't set in the past.
No, but this game was made in the past, like 20 odd years
Listen,
ago.
everyone was emotional after Nixon resigned. everyone had to relive that trauma in the Encarta 96 encyclopedia, and it was tough going. Red Dwarf with a $2 dono. Binary Domain from Sega. That's a game we have in our Steam account. We've been thinking of like doing something with.
I played that game. I loved it. It had janky voice commands for your squad. It was like a lesser Gears of War.
Sure.
If Gears of War was trying to also be Vanquish.
But
it's not bad.
That doesn't sound like a terrible combination.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Blue McDee's nuts with a $2 dono. R.I.P. Bad Game Maker Games at Game Hippo Site and Doom Prism.
Doom Prism.
Dew Prism. Dew Prism.
Oh.
Dew, like Mountain Dew.
Like Mountain
Oh, Dew Prism is just Threads of Fate. Wait, this game was called Dew Prism? I absolutely played this game. This was a Square PS1 game. I think I own this game. I never knew it was called Dew Prism.
Square PS1. How'd you put it in the console?
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
What do you mean? How did you play it? It was a disc.
It was
what?
Square though. Like, what was it running?
Fucking shit, Frost.
I guess if you went
Square
fast enough, it
Enix.
still goes. Oh,
No, they were actually just Square. They weren't even Enix.
Them had Forspoken, the bums.
That was before Square cheated on Soft and married Enix.
Mm.
It used to be called Squaresoft.
Soft never recovered.
Soft never recovered. Quintuple A with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Shout out to Eric's quick search for obscure games. Eric, you're on the draw on this one.
Yeah.
We have a relatively good run though, so I feel like you get a couple second head start, so that's always good. And then Eric, speaking of, another 50 arses, one that I remember as a kid but never knew what the game was until 15 years later. Montezuma's Revenge. Montezuma's Return, the sequel to Montezuma's Revenge. It feels like Revenge should be the second one, right? The Return feels softer.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Montezuma's Revenge is just diarrhea.
Isn't that like diarrhea when you go you
yeah.
drink water that you're not used to?
Yeah, that's just Montezuma's Revenge. Oh, look at that! It's like what Indiana Jones and
like a first person
action, something like
Yeah,
that.
this is just Minecraft.
Minecraft.
I've never played Minecraft, but this looks like Minecraft.
It kind of does.
Really?
I've never played Minecraft. No,
I'm not.
And I also lied.
You should play it because you should love it. It's more so like go in and just treat it like a museum, really. Just
Like for science.
Yeah, just like what's going on in here?
Someone would have to give me like the Minecraft world I want to walk around. I don't want to just go one and get like touched by a creeper. I know about creepers.
You're on peaceful.
Did you say go to donkeys?
Is that
what you said? You could put it on peaceful.
Oh, I thought you said you can go to donkeys. And I was like, donkey, like the man?
Donuts.
Does he have?
What?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about like the man, that he had a nice Minecraft server. Moving on, Deeps, welcome back with a $5 dono. Pink Panther in Passport to Peril, a point-and-click adventure. You travel around the world and learn about countries to appease children at a summer camp. See, that looks nice. I like these ideas of your Pink Panthers, your Inspector Gadgets. I like these sort of IP-driven games that feel a little nice, at least. Like Pink Panther wasn't. Oh, this I don't know what this footage is. This doesn't look nice anymore. Someone's in
Yeah,
prison.
is
This witch
this-
looked like they've got to get beat
Oh
up.
no, okay, this is Pink Panther.
Oh, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him. Where's Waldo?
Was
This looks
is,
culturally
is
inappropriate.
Pink
now.
Panther Hanna-Barbera?
It's a good question. I actually don't know. He seems French to me.
It's a Boomerang, isn't it? I don't know. I watched it on
Like
Boomerang
yeah,
channel.
Boomerang was the network that housed
Yeah.
all those Hanna-Barbera properties. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if Pink Panther is part of that like pantheon.
Sure.
But like,
Panther.
I always liked the design of that that Pantherion. I've always liked the design of this character, but I've always thought that this cartoon was boring, and I don't know
Sure.
what the appeal is.
The original movie was pretty good, but
The one with what's his face?
Peter Sellers,
No, I was thinking of the other guy, the
What?
white-haired comedian,
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Oh my
Yeah, I think
god.
that was the newer take
mean-
on it.
That was a newer one. Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah. There you go. Shout out to Pink Panther. That was a lot. We just talked a lot about Pink Panther.
Also, how are
It's
those
probably the
things
most-
connected? Like, I've never understood because like this Pink Panther that we're seeing had nothing to do with like those live action movies, right?
No, he did not.
So like,
No,
what?
no.
I
He's
don't
just
know.
the mascot for the diamond, you know.
He was the mascot for the diamond. Do diamonds
Yeah,
have mascots?
It's the Pink Panther diamond. That's him. It's
There's
like
a
Ronald
diamond in this
McDonald,
story?
brother. They gave him old. Yeah, what you watched? Did you not watch the Martin Sheen one? They're all fighting for that ruby thing. Well, I guess it's a
I
diamond.
did not watch the movie, no, because again, I have no affinity for the Pink Panther.
Are you talking
It
about Steve
confuses
Martin or
me.
Martin Sheen? This is the second time you've tried to trick me with Martin Sheen this week.
Steve Martin and Peter Sellers are both detectives hunting down the pink diamond, the Pink Panther diamond.
But when does the
Okay.
when does the cat appear? Is he just
Cat
like
never really appears like in any capacity whatsoever. He's just the
And
mascot for the
I
diamond.
take issue with that
That's fair.
because I was promised a Pink Panther, and instead I'm getting all these white
I can
men.
I can sympathize because that's how they got me with Kangaroo Jack. I don't know how many of you guys remembered the trailer for Kangaroo Jack. It was just the talking kangaroo, and it was not. He was having a heat stroke. It wasn't even real.
Is that what that movie's about?
Yeah, it was a real kangaroo. It never actually talked.
Oh wow!
fucking absolutely tricked? What a shame. Boo Radley with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Boo. Test Drive Eve of Destruction on Xbox. Great multiplayer game for goofing around back in the day. I don't remember that one. I remember the Test Drive series. I don't remember Eve of Destruction. That sounds like more of like a
Like a demolition derby.
yeah, like a maybe you got some weapons and stuff. Maybe it's like post-apocalyptic. Got
Did
a
you guys ever
horrible
play
water.
Vigilante 8?
I did. It was, I
It's
always
like a
thought it was
Twisted Metal
bad
wannabe.
Twisted Metal. Yeah.
I liked it.
What was this thing? Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember the
was
cover.
forget-
Also, a lot of
yeah.
these games would be like, I don't remember this game, and you'd see the cover and be like, oh, I know what that game is.
Yeah, like, I know what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, looking right at it. Yep, I remember you had a big old hillbilly feller. He was an apiarist. He had bees. Yep.
I mean, that was in the post-apocalypse. I'm sure bees are like very helpful.
Yeah, it was random half cyborg woman. Remember her ditty? Because the redneck guy would just go, yeah, oh, or something. And she was like, I may be half human, but I am all woman. I was like, get it, girl.
Why aren't we streaming Vigilante 8 all the time? I feel like any of these streams, any game we brought up today, we should just be streaming instead of fucking, I don't know,
I mean, yeah, a lot of these might be hard.
because a lot of them don't exist.
Yeah, like, it's just there's no way to actually get to this game.
August with a $20 dono. $20 dono. Thank you so much, August. Finally getting to the meat and potato. Do you think Stellar Blade is too sexy or not sexy enough?
Oh, we haven't even gotten to what we've been like playing and stuff. I just realized.
Yeah, we can pretend we're in what we've been playing now. Casey, you played the Stellar Blade demo.
Yeah, I just played
There's
the
a
demo,
demo?
today. Yeah,
it's a
the
demo.
demo launched. I want to say last week or the week before.
No, it was
It was a while ago.
it was like a month ago. Yeah, I streamed it. Like
Oh
a month ago.
damn.
People
Yeah.
been mad that long.
People
my
have been mad
goodness.
that long.
I was
No,
too
they
horny to
haven't.
be mad. I played the demo and I just had a boner for like a month.
Started going and he said,
The characters in Stellar Blade are stupidly sexy. Like
Mhm.
they are distractingly sexy. It's like the world is like pretty gritty. You know what it reminded me of? Because it has a really cool like bombastic opening. At least I think what I played in demo is the opening of the game.
Yeah.
It's basically like the the Normandy scene in Saving Private
in Private
Ryan,
Ryan.
except
Yeah.
space. Like, so pods coming down, everything's blowing up, everything's going
Mhm.
crazy. But then these super attractive people, like, well, women, super attractive women, get out of the pods with like blades in their hands and just super tight jumpsuits, and it's like, this doesn't fit. Like, I have no problem with attractive characters in games. Like, I like cutesy or just cute, attractive, handsome, whatever characters as a protagonist, but they just don't fit. Like, it's a stark contrast to like the environment they're in. So like, I kept getting pulled out of it because it's like there's lots of jiggle physics. Her ponytail is so long,
You can
like
change it to short.
it drags across the floor.
In the options menu, I changed it to short because I didn't like the physics on the ponytail.
Oh, you can change it. Okay, I didn't realize
Yeah.
you could change it. But yeah, it's such a distracting character model. But outside of the visuals, I'll say that it doesn't give a great first impression. Like, its combat feels a little clunky and slow. Like you're looking at some platform-esque stuff here. Like, that did not feel great to like jump around with the character. Like, she moves weirdly slow despite being like this kind of hyper spectacle fighter type character. But eventually, of course, like most fighting games, you get more abilities, you get more skills and stuff. They let you do like a later game boss fight as part of the demo that had just a bunch more of the skill tree unlocked. And after a couple rounds with that boss, that fight actually got really fun. And so I don't know if this game works moment to moment, but it definitely has it has strengths that
Yeah,
I think can carry it through, like, however long the actual campaign is. Because like, yeah, when you're in the heat of like a one-on-one fight with like the enemies who have like, they're greatly designed, like they look crazy, they have like big tails, like their attacks as well as your attacks on them like have a lot of flash and like just real bombastic looking set pieces. Like, you can really get into a groove and end up having like a ton of fun.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
I had
the
no
combat
idea
is
what's going on
very
in the story.
like parry centric.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
parries,
really
there's
timing
like
based.
perfect
Oh,
dodges
no.
that give you slow-mo like
Oh, okay.
Bayonetta. There's like like special moves where you're like doing like a big long string of a thing just by pressing a couple buttons.
Mhm.
It has a cool mechanic that I very much like, where it's kind of rather than like parry, you kind of have a parry dodge. Like, if a monster does a specific kind of attack, you'll get like a color coded ping on your sword, and you have like a small window to react to that the right way. Like, press like the
Yeah.
corresponding button in forward or corresponding button in backwards based on what that color is, and you'll do like a super cool thing that counters whatever they were about to do. And once you're in that groove, like, all that stuff looks and feels really, really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, it probably takes some time to like warm up, but like it's
Can't
a
get
game that I
past the
think I get
tutorial.
through.
Just ogling.
so much
Yeah, some
ogling.
folks might get stuck there. Yeah.
Yeah. And the
Getting skill depth
the
so hard right now, and it never felt so good.
the review embargo went up today, and people seem to enjoy it. It's getting like a lot of
Yeah, I'm
7s,
seeing
8s.
a lot of positive talk about it.
So it sounds like they said story wise it's definitely kind of half baked, and like they're trying to
didn't
do
know
a
what the hell
near
was going
thing,
on.
but not anywhere near close to the kind of depth that a near had. But yeah,
Voice
I mean,
acting wasn't great either.
yeah, I wasn't crazy about it in the demo. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, we didn't none of us have been playing it yet outside of the demo because we didn't get a review copy, and it's on PS5, so anyone who's going to play it's going to have to dive in themselves. But
Also, this game is $70, I think.
yeah,
Brother.
Like,
yeah.
the standard
You can-
edition, if I'm not mistaken, is
listen,
a full 70.
when folks are horned up, you can charge whatever you want.
That is true.
Yeah,
Don't even see what bills I'm pulling out.
that's-
Anyone paying for this game is doing so like this.
The devs are just cashing all their checks in one.
ones. And then I'm gonna skip ahead a couple super chats because B Smart with a $5 dono said, Casey, I really enjoyed your new bite size. I lost both my parents during the pandemic, and I'm afraid to play the game. I feel like it might really affect me. B Smart, you're talking about Tales of Kenzera Zao, the game that Casey just published bite size about.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that about your parents. Like, and the pandemic is not that long ago, so I know that that's probably still. Like that game is something very special, and like, yeah, if you're dealing with exactly that thing, it very well might be too much for you. So like, yeah, like, yourself more than anybody else. So take that with a grain of sand. But like, it may it may help. Like I really like that was part of like my bite size is that I personally can't speak to that level of loss because I just haven't had it happen to me yet. And that's the thing that weighs on me, but like it's just nothing compared to that reality.
Mhm.
But like, but I like the weight of it for the creator, Abu Bakr Salam, comes through. And like I I imagine that that may have, you know, a positive effect on others who have similar like he did this in order to get it out of him. So
Mhm.
like I feel like the fact that this is so well crafted in conveying that message would help someone else kind of get it out of them if that's something that they're struggling with.
Yeah, like a lot of art like that can be super cathartic, you know, to kind of
Yeah.
like realize you're experiencing something alongside someone else.
I wasn't ready. I played the demo. Voice acting in that thing was superb. I was like, I am not ready to embark on this journey yet, fresh off of Venba, because that's also very like losing
Yeah, I just
parents
played
and
Venba.
culture and
Yeah.
all that. And I'm like, I can only cry so much in a year. You know?
Yeah, and it's funny, and you know, it's a Metroidvania, and I feel like by and large we're not used to Metroidvanias having like really powerful, poignant, emotional stories like this. You
I
know,
mean,
a lot.
that's
Yeah.
the production value alone for a
Yeah,
Metroidvania. That's not normal.
yeah. So also really impressive from a first time studio. You know, if anything, I hope the game does well so that they're able to make something else next and like learn from everything from this game and just grow from there. Because you see so many studios how like from game one to game two a leap they make. Yeah, seems really cool. Kind of in this we're in the midst of a wave of a bunch of pretty really interesting high profile indie games, and so it's cool to see you know this just kind of added to that, and like you said, Casey, kind of bringing a different perspective of things.
Yeah, it's almost like the next wave of what will be the big IP that become standard fare
Hmm.
are starting to arrive. Cause like
Yeah.
I fully imagine, especially like with the backing, like they had EA's help, like they work with like Ridley Scott's production company as well. Like they fully intend to have this world be a bigger thing. Like they want it to be a transmedia thing. So like I want to see, you know, an animated series, a TV show, a movie, whatever, set in this universe, other video
Hmm.
games as well. Like I think they very much are planning to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that rules. That game is out today. Out yesterday.
Uh out
I believe
today.
it's available now.
Yeah, it's out now.
Yeah.
You can play it now.
Jumping around a bit. Speaking of big recent indie games worth checking out, Frost, you got to play Yellow Taxi Go Vroom, a game
Oh,
you've
yeah.
actually you put on my radar. I think last year. Finally came out now, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's the love child between like Crazy Taxi and old Mario 64, right? That kind of like love letter to that sort of time period to the point where even when you get to the arcade level and you see that carpet, right? I was like, oh my God, I can taste this level.
Yeah, yeah.
It's insane. Yeah, no. Great stuff, really. I think this is probably going to be, if any, well, I'm saying it's going to be huge for speedrunners. I'm mostly trying to peer pressure them because I want to see what it's like for somebody to actually go nuts with the movement systems in this game.
Yeah.
Because it's so I guess innocent in the way it presents itself. You get one small gap and you're like, okay, I'll drive over it, and then the next gap's a little too big, so you find that you have this crazy move that boosts you forward, and then there's less ramps, there's but more verticality, and you're like, how the hell am I supposed to get into some of these spaces? And I guess for modern gamers, you'd think, oh, I can come back later with an upgrade or some kind of like level up system or something. It's like, no, you can do it right now. You just gotta like get kind of funky with it.
You gotta
And
get
it
good.
will naturally teach you how to
Mm-hmm.
acquire these powers within yourself, but like mastery takes more time.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, yeah, it's such a good time. But again, I'm not very good at anything that has wheels, really. Like I love Tony Hawk, wasn't no good at it. Rocket League's great to watch, no good at it. This
That's why you
game,
like the American Wasteland. You can get off your board.
honestly, yeah, you
Wander
can just
around.
like walk around and have a
Yeah.
good time there. So this is one of those in Steam to have the award game you love but suck at. This is easily
I love
already
that.
taken it.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Games that you love but you suck at, and I can't wait for this to be like GDQ and see somebody go crazy.
Yeah, to
on
see
it.
someone absolutely rip it apart.
Mhm.
What else do you guys have going on? What else? Any playing, watching, anything else? Frost, we'll start with you.
Little Fallout show and House MD.
Mm,
House
big
MD
two.
being the comfort food. And
What a
the
great
Fallout show, just because everybody's watching, I got to see like what I'm missing out. But let me tell you, everybody right now is discovering Goggins for the first time. I love me some Goggins. He was in Main Baddie and Justified. He's so
Justified.
good.
Yeah.
He's
Been
so
on that
good.
Goggins train, man. Uncle
Absolutely.
Baby Billy.
Uncle
From-
Baby
from
Billy's
friggin-
Bible Busters.
Oh yeah, he's so good. He gives me those.
God, I love
like,
Righteous Gemstones.
Gives me some like Jim Carrey the Mask vibes. Really does, and more serious than when he was a cowboy, Jim Carrey, but still gives me that like air of it. I love him.
When was Jim Carrey a
What
cowboy?
was Jim Carrey, a cowboy?
The Mask. He did like.
Oh, you're still talking about The Mask. Okay.
You
Oh, he was a
shot
little bit
me,
about anything.
partner. Yeah.
What did you just say looked like the mask to you?
What?
Didn't you make a goof about something, Frost? That something reminded you of the mask? Oh, it was the ghoul. It was the ghoul.
Yeah, the ghoul. Yeah, the ghoul.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the very one.
Yeah.
Very much.
Titular ghoul.
Yeah.
Great stuff. It's given a bit Westworld, that Nolan boy, and I'm like, you better not drag me through this one for something you're not going to finish. You better finish this.
Yeah.
But,
Is that his fault? It's not his fault.
It's not his fault that it got canceled, but I'm like, you could have been a bit more finite with your details, more final.
He
and
didn't
like,
get a
you know
chance
what?
to finish the story he was telling. That doesn't seem fair.
Nah.
The victim blaming.
See, yeah, maybe I'm actually the horrible person here. I don't believe in any of this. Like, I've got this master plan for 5 seasons. I'm like, no, you get one, and if we want more, you can make more. None of this, like, oh damn, it sputtered out at season 3 again.
Answer all your questions.
Yeah.
I like that about. Did have all you guys watched Shogun?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
It wrapped up last night, and it's just done.
I love the clips I keep saying and the memes.
Oh, he is so good. You're gonna love this dude. His name's Cosmo Jarvis. He's just like Tom Hardy, but fucking nuts.
Also, like Bronson Hardy.
He's Bronson Hardy. He's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I love him. I don't understand why he exists.
I love the memes of like he's just so aggressive and like says his mind, and his translator is just like, no, I'm not gonna say that.
No, he's the show is great. I thought I feel like it's gonna be a divisive ending just because it's not spoiling anything. You expect one big thing to happen, and it kind of doesn't, and it kind of reminds you that like this is a character ensemble, and we're going to focus on the characters, kind of instead of giving you what you want. And I thought it was really great. I thought it was just a really great, poignant, beautiful 10 episodes of TV.
Oh yeah, give it a go. So I like me a misanthrope. I really do.
And you're gonna dig this one.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, can we have a Rat Beef update?
All right, guys, strap in because Rat Beef Part 3 is off the rails. So where we last left off, J. Cole eliminated himself from contention. He apologized for the diss track that he put out. So he is no longer in conversation. A lot of folks actually have kind of come around and like, you know what, it's cool that he apologized because he really wasn't the target of this beef anyway, right?
Ooh.
He was a innocent bystander. I mean, no, I feel the same. I'm not a fan of him bowing out because he claimed to have been like one of the greats, which I didn't agree with. But like, if you're making that claim, you got to back it up. He didn't back it up. He proved me right. I'm fine with it. But the real target for Kendrick's ire was always Drake, and so Drake fired back with his song Push-Ups, which is good. Like, it's a good retort. But then that opened the floodgates for a lot of other people to just take their shots. Freaking Chris Brown out of nowhere throws out a track dissing Quavo from Migos because apparently they both dated the same chick forever ago, and like Chris Brown is still like hung up on her. So he says all sorts of disrespectful shit in this song to Quavo. And the worst part is that it's fucking good. Chris Brown is a singer and a dancer, but he laid down a quality rap diss record.
Even threatens him with it. It's like, don't make me sing it for you. Like, oh my goodness. Can you imagine
Like, it's wild.
harmonized while your ass is getting beat? Jesus.
It's wow. Chris Brown just wanted to get involved, and he did, very much so.
He did.
So in that time, Quavo did respond. Quavo was never like Migos. They're not like rappy type guys. They're not great at it. They're more like vibey type dudes, but like they have dope beats behind them. Quavo's retort is not great. He does levy some pretty good burns at Chris Brown. Like he talks about the fact that Chris Brown is sort of a drug addict, which is very much true.
Catch
but
the
like,
bit where he's like, "Yo, stop hitting women." I'm like, "Yo, Chris,
right,
you're
yeah,
not
that
one
too.
to talk." Like, what?
But also,
we're
I mean,
throwing stones
I'm
in
not-
glass houses now.
yeah, I'm not a fan of either of these guys, so this is kind of just a side. This is all like this is the energy that has been unleashed into the world
Yeah.
of hip hop, but also of music in general. Because not only did Chris Brown join this fight out of nowhere, seemingly, but Taylor Swift released a song
Voice of a generation.
clearly dissing Kim Kardashian for that shit where she
Her and
recorded
did
Kanye.
leak the convos.
Yeah, like so, like this is forever ago. This is ancient history between them. Like, but I mean, clearly she didn't just do this like because of all this is going on, but like it's in the air, right? She releases this. It's a clear diss to Kim Kardashian. Kim gets a chance to respond on an interview, but they don't ask the question. She doesn't mention anything about it, and kind of she shrugs it off anytime it's like Kim doesn't want to have anything. She's like, I'm over this, essentially. So here we have Taylor Swift, one of the biggest musical artists in the world, taking shots at Kim Kardashian, who is the bigger person. This is this is the universe we live in right now. Kim Kardashian is the more mature person out of the group here.
That's because they have more shit to worry about in their family. Because fucking Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner might be breaking up, and you're losing Lisan Al Gib. You're losing the fucking Fremen chosen one in your family.
Let Chalamet get clear of that family. We've seen we have
God.
seen what happens to folks who mess with Kardashians.
I don't know.
No,
bro.
Lamar
We love our
Odom, he's
boy.
fine.
We love our boy Little Timmy.
Kanye
Little
doing
Timmy
his
Turner,
thing.
get safe.
No, this is crazy. It is like the scene in Roadhouse where like the people that have beef are fighting, but then everyone else is like, "Oi, bar fight!" Like,
Yeah, everyone else gets
because
rowdy,
it was very much just like Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake. J. Cole shoots himself in the foot to avoid serving in this war, and then what do you call it? Yeah, then it was like, all right, gang up Rick Ross, gang up on Drake.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Weekend
like,
too
honestly,
was also
yeah,
singing
yeah.
against Drake. Sure,
Weekend had a
and
diss
then
on that
just
same
Chris
album
Brown
for Drake.
bar fight. Quavo.
Yeah, folks are getting involved. It's great. It's like it's energy. Folks are hyped to like make music right now. Even though they're dissing people they're not super friendly with, but they're making music. So all this is going on. We're still waiting for a Kendrick response. Drake is impatient. He drops another diss record.
No,
You can't do two in a row. You can't go two in a row. What are you doing?
He's Drake. He does what he wants. There's no rules in a rap beef. He does what he wants. Drake is that faster writer, and he's good at it.
Ass
So
smokes grass,
yeah, he's gonna
brother.
he's gonna work to his strengths. But
He's using
listen to
AI.
what Drake
He's
does.
using AI.
Drake records. He pulls an 8 Mile essentially. He uses an AI voice modifier to sound like Tupac and Snoop Dogg, two West Coast rappers who are essentially from Kendrick's like set, their hood, like, and he basically uses them to diss himself and egg Kendrick into responding to Drake's last record. So he's basically using them to like be rabbit himself and take away Kendrick's ammo.
It's desperate.
I don't think it's desperate. I think it's troll energy.
But he's in B Rabbit, it's like, yeah, I am a bum. I live with my mom. Whereas Drake is like, yeah, I like little girls. and everyone's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Are you admitting to crimes here?
I don't think.
Yeah.
I texted 11.
Yeah, no. Stranger Things, huh? And everyone's like, wait a minute. That's not how the B Rabbit works. You don't do that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's still Drake. So if he's gonna air himself out, like it's Drake. So we know the easy targets for someone like Drake. So
I like.
No, go ahead.
No, I saw when Drake released that. Someone replied to it with just that. Remember that one Sprite commercial he was in, where his head CG,
yes,
was
like
a
like
cyborg, and it all like,
yeah,
just with like a mid shot of that. And I was like, that's really good. Yeah,
like the thing is, like the song is good. The AI use is it's not AI as in he had AI do the song for him. Drake clearly wrote the bars. It's his cadence. You can hear him spitting the bars underneath. He just changed the voices for verse 1 and verse 2 to sound like the rappers who he's talking from the perspective as.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, it's sketchy, but it's also trolly. Like like this is planned. Like Drake, on top of trying to answer back this beef, is also playing industry games, right? Because on top of having to win in the court of like actual lyricism, you do also need the people on your side. Like you need the fans and the engagement from the community to declare you the winner after everything is said and done. And by doing stuff like this, he makes sure at least that people are talking about that record. He's talking about the fact that he went and used AI for this purpose. And that gets people interested in it. He even called the song "Tailor-Made Freestyle." So he's invoking the name of Taylor Swift, who's the biggest artist in the world right now. And like if you type out Drake diss song Taylor Swift, like that's gonna catch the attention of the algorithm. Like his shit's just gonna skyrocket. Like it's very, very smart.
He's Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
No, like seriously. And on top of all of the actual music, Drake has employed tons of like like actual like real world like trolling maneuvers. Like he's Metro Boomin, who was the person who produced the Like That song that started all of this. He sent a drumline chorus out to Magic City, which is like a big club / strip club, whatever that he hangs out at, to like antagonize him by just drumming like in a drum line. Yeah. Because like his diss to Metro on his first track was Metro, shut your hoe ass up and make some drums.
Turn the music off too.
So like he's putting all these memes out, like he's doing all these trolley tactics. Like Drake is all in for this beef. Like he did the music, he's going above and beyond in terms of putting out like other content to supplement the music. Like it has energized everyone, including pop stars, because freaking Taylor went after it. Like
I hope it gets
like,
even wilder, bro. I want to hear like
Kanye
like,
jumped on a remix, so like it's still
what is Tom Cruise
escalating.
Yeah, I want Tom Cruise's diss track against what's his name, Jeremy Renner. Trying to take my friend. Get the fuck out of here!
It's coming.
I broke my foot. I broke your career.
See, also all eyes are on Kendrick now. Like Drake has
he's just eating a
pressure on Kendrick's response.
Kendrick's just eating a snow cone.
No, Kendrick has to respond. He's not going to not say nothing. Like Kendrick asked for this. This is what he wanted. Like
he will, but he's not pressed. He's just like, all right.
I agree. I don't think Kendrick is pressed, but all eyes are on Kendrick. Like,
yeah.
Like, so if the thing he puts out isn't the thing we expect it to be, like, it's gonna be rough because like
Drake, is it one of those like no matter how good it is, it's now like bubbled up to a point where it will never meet expectations?
Yeah, like Drake has succeeded in trying to like he himself was in the second song was asking for the response as if he's waiting on it. Like it's been like a week already. He's like, oh, where's it at? You better make it good. You better make sure like he's hyping it up as well because everyone's waiting on it.
If so, anybody
like, that does mount pressure.
Oof. If anybody could do it.
Yeah, I believe in it. Like this is far from over. Like I cannot wait to hear Kendrick's response.
I'll know that this beef has leveled up if someone can find Frank Ocean. I don't know if he still exists, but like, that man still exists. I think they asked Tyler, the creator, at Coachella.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know where Frank is.
Because he was supposed to be on stage with him, I heard.
Yeah.
It just didn't show up.
Who knows where Frank is. Also, shout out to Eric, who this whole time didn't know what to do for B-roll, so just started cycling through Windows 95 screensavers, including that liminal space maze, and now these pipes. Very, very good decision.
I'll be honest with you guys. My favorite part of returning to the rap beef segment on this show is the fact that no one else seems to be as into this as I am.
We are.
I'm there. Absolutely.
We're correspondents.
I'm listening to Pimp a Butterfly because of this. Like,
I've been going through all of the like even J. Cole. I've been listening to some of his old stuff. Like, did I miss something? Like, why is he in this conversation? Like
there's this guy. What is it? What's his name? This one YouTube channel blowing up. This Canadian guy of all things, white Canadian dude, has been dissecting all the old disses, be it Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. They got a big shout out from like Joe Budden and all these people. They're like that dude makes good videos.
President Joe Budden.
President Joe Budden himself.
I've been listening to some old Joe Budden shit. Yeah, I've been all of.
I mean, while we're doing that though, I'm also kind of here like, all right, let's be honest here. I remember the old rap beef people would get shot
Yeah.
back in those days. So I kind of go back as well and listen to like No Vaseline from Ice Cube, and I'm like, this dude would have killed somebody. None of these guys were willing to kill anybody. Maybe
That's
Chris
what makes
Brown.
it better, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you got to keep an eye on Chris Brown. Like he's not well. He's not. He's not well.
He's not okay right now.
Not well.
Yeah. What's his name? What's the Dirt? That's the guy's channel. He's a super wholesome dude. It's always funny to me seeing like Canadian hip hop heads with very thick Canadian accents. It's so
Very
good.
apologetic about everything.
Yeah,
I mean, Drake gave him the in. Like they're fully in.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Absolutely.
There you go.
See, like
Yeah, that's
Katy
the update.
Perry or something.
We need to get like a little theme song for like this sub thing for every time we do a Rat Beef update. A little going over the last couple donos before we head off for the evening. Night Breeze, $2 dono back in the day. Thank you so much. We need a bite-sized review on Hurdy Gurdy. Marty, listen, if I figure out how to get up PS2 games streaming, we'll do a new once a month. Here's all the shit I bought. Everyone gets 10 minutes of each game.
Retail therapy. Let's go.
Retail therapy. Everyone gets 10 minutes. Can this game impress us in 10 minutes or not?
That's how I do demos. Yeah.
See,
No, it's
there
nice.
You don't spend a lot of money on demos, but that's the thing. Demos are free. What I do is not free. Fox D with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Made it home before the end of the stream. No Ghost Train, thankfully. I'm too old to be on those anymore. Did you ever? Where was the ghost? Where did you see a ghost? What's one place you saw a ghost, Frost?
There was this house that was by the river, brother.
Oh man, I feel like ghosts absolutely hang out by rivers.
Oh yes,
Don't ghosts hate water or something?
Not La Llorona. That's where she. That's her.
Oh, the Curse of La
source.
Llorona. I saw that movie.
Yeah, I don't know if that's any good. Probably not.
No, it was part of the. I believe it was part of the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, it was.
They tried to be like, here's a Spanish version with La Llorona. Yeah, it was scary. She seemed like, I don't want to.
Oh no, man! I just tell you, I seen specters. I ran. I was a very fidgety kid, very jumpy.
Okay, someone set a reminder for Halloween. We're just gonna do a stream. We're talking about some weird shit we've seen. Everyone come to the table. We're gonna lower the lights. Eric will get some like spooky VFX, and we'll just be like, here's some weird shit that happened to me.
There you go.
Could be interesting.
And then we'll play Hurdy Gurdy. Tsunami Doucher with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Bomberman 64, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, Katamari Damacy, games where your attack and traversal were a spherical object you controlled. That's what we need more. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, famously, this is by Yuji Naka of Prison fame. Of Balan Wonderworld, Prison. I wonder if he tried to get out of that prison using his big egg. If he was able to make his way out of there. I like that. I like games where you just use a large orb.
Why is Billy Hatcher's egg so dense? Shouldn't that thing like crack open?
I think you collect things to make your egg denser. Like if you wander around your house enough, Casey, you could probably find various trinkets that would
just increase the strength of my eggs.
Yeah,
calcium, man.
Yeah, it might be calcium. Yeah,
calcium. Eggs are very, very sturdy. It was very impressive from an engineering perspective. Any engineers in the chat? They know.
Yeah. Engineers like to call themselves egg boys.
Engineers, yeah.
Engineers. Red Dwarf with a $5 dono. Walton Goggins was in a weird movie where he tries to kill Santa Claus called Fat Man with Mel Gibson. Walton, could you? Is that a real movie?
That sounds familiar. Like I don't think this movie was that long ago, even.
I mean, I can't. But listen, Walton, like this shit costs money, so I understand what you're doing, Walton. But you're better than that, Walton. Do Justified. Do Righteous Gemstones. No,
he was good in Vice Principals too.
Great in Vice Principals. Yeah, he's good in Django. He's good. Good. We love a Walton here. Quintuple A with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. Going back to Rat Beef, Casey. It's cool. We're getting bonus content. You're learning a little bit. Oh my God, it is fucking 820. Jesus Christ. Beastmark, $2 dono. Thank you so much. Real Compton G's equals best diss track ever. We should do a diss track fucking March Madness. Is there 60? There's probably 64 of them.
Oh, it seems like a lot. So many. Yeah.
You'd have some real bad 16 seeds though. There you go. We did it. My last thing was just gonna be solo leveling. Everyone should go watch solo leveling if you like anime and you like video games.
There you go.
There you go. It's a Korean. It's my first manhwa adaptation.
First manhwa.
It's a Korean manga, which is called manhwa. So
Nice.
Look at that. We're learning.
It's good that your first one is good because my first
branching
one
out.
What was your
Get to-
first one?
It was
get to
Tower,
Europe
not Tower
eventually.
God. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
God of High School.
Oh.
Yeah,
It-
there you go.
it's shit. It's a shit show.
There you go. Between Solo Leveling and Stellar Blade, it's good. Congratulations, Korea. You're making things we talked about in this episode.
No, Lies of P is their biggest game contribution, I think, right?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah. City of Seoul, just a great city.
Oh, just the city, yeah. I guess.
One of the beacons of Southeast Asia.
Is
the
that
Rio
what
de
they
Janeiro
call the
of
City of
Southeast
Lights?
Asia. Yeah, the Rio de Janeiro of Southeast Asia. We gotta leave. We gotta be done.
Yeah, we gotta
Frost,
stop.
Frost, thank you so much for joining us tonight. What do you have going on? What should folks check out?
Go.
Where should folks send money to?
Watch the old Cold Take, and in
Yeah.
there you'll find a link to the Stop Killing Games campaign. Help Ross Scott save your games, right?
Hell yeah.
Or signal boost it, send it to your gran, help her save games like the old ones that she sent you out of nowhere. Or sometimes she'd give you Conker's Bad Fur Day. You know, the duality of grandmas. That's great.
Duality of grandmas.
Mm-hmm. That's all for me, I believe.
Heck yeah. Casey.
Nice. As usual, you guys can find me all over the internet at Sigma Gears 9. No wedding stream this Friday, but maybe I'll stream something if I'm not super busy. Because Kia's away, but I'll be in the house alone. So outside of that, check out my latest bite size that dropped yesterday on Tales of Kenzera Zao. I think it's really good. Like I really enjoyed putting that together. And tomorrow, DMC 4.
Yeah. Dante's campaign.
Dante's version.
Boy, the devil might cry.
Dante re-recorded the track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
got the
a-
rights to the master.
As a Taylor Swift goof.
Yeah.
But that's it for me.
And then Friday,
Oh,
three of
shit,
us-
yeah.
three of us
Dokapon.
plus Jesse will be back for Dokapon Kingdom. More of it, 3 p.m. Central. Friday, we got 2 streams. We
Yes.
got noon. Jack and I will be doing Elden Ring. And then 3 p.m. Central in the normal Call of Duty time. The 3 of us plus Jesse Galino will be back, continuing our Dokapon shenanigans. Frost has a princess in hand and should be at the castle soon. And who knows what the next chapter holds. Literally, who knows? Because I don't know if the developers of that
We're
game
all
know.
in various caves, I think.
We're all in our own private Idahos. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, but that'll do it for us for Firelink episode number 19. Thank you all so much to everyone who tuned in, everyone who's watching the VOD, everyone who's listening on your podcast service of choice, everyone who donated. Thank you so much. Everyone, we really appreciate your support. So for Casey, for Frost, and for Eric behind the camera, this was Marty. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your nights, and we'll see you all later.
Foggy. Maybe I'll go home.
Big the cat.
Is
Are
that
you
what he
guys
sounds like?
okay?
I'm going to have nightmares.
Is that on? Is that on stream?
Is he in my is he in my bedroom? Is he in this office?
Did the audience hear that? Is my question.
Are we allowed to
I think
leave?
so. The
'Cause that's
thing OMG
terrifying.
would even. I want to go
Bye,
home
everyone.
now, Jack.
Bye, everyone.